its 25th anniversary.
We're live from Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. There's a sellout crowd for the 114th consecutive time. Tonight, they'll watch the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos in an interconference game. Let's take a look at the standings. A very important game for both ball clubs. The Broncos, with a win tonight, can take a one-game lead over the Raiders and Seattle, and streaking San Diego will be 2 games back. Meanwhile, in the NFC Western Division, the San Francisco 49ers, off to a very slow start, have an opportunity to make up a full game in the Los Angeles Rams, who lost to the Giants yesterday. They are 2 decidedly different football teams, philosophically and player-wise, and their quarterbacks are decidedly different. In John Elway, he just lets it rip. Montana is very disciplined. As George Young said, one is there, the other one is getting there. Joe Montana is a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. His career rating is tops in the history of the NFL. And while he missed last week's game with a slight injury, he's expected to be ready tonight against Denver and expected to get the ball to the 49ers offensive machine, Roger Craig. Craig has rushed for over 500 yards this year and has added over 600 yards as a receiver. No NFL player has ever had 1,000 yards receiving and rushing. Craig could make NFL history this season. For the Broncos tonight, John Elway will duel with Montana. Elway's statistics are not those of Montana, but his competitive flair and powerful arm has the Broncos on top of the AFC West, and that's what it's all about. One of his offensive weapons tonight will be Steve Watson. Watson with the deceptive speed and the superb hands. Tonight on a chilly night in Denver, a key interconference game, the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos. Will be here tonight, some 75,000 plus. The game, of course, televised in the local area. This is the 114th consecutive sellout. As I mentioned, that's truly remarkable. The 49ers will receive to your left, and Carl Monroe is deep. Derek Harmon is back there. The barefooted Rick Carlos gets it underway. And neither Monroe or Harmon fielded the ball. They were not talking to each other. And covered in the end zone is Carl Monroe. That was a short kick that the 49ers could advance into good field position. But there was a mix-up between the 2 deep men. And now let's take a look at the stats for Joe Montana. He's leading the NFL through 9 games, just by a couple of percentage points. He, of course, is the all-time leader in the NFL, according to the way quarterbacks are rated. You saw the name of Derek Harmon in there. He opens for Wendell Tyler. Tyler with a very sore knee and a very sore ankle. First and 10, the 49ers, the ball near their own 20-yard line. Roger Craig. And Craig out over the 25-yard line. He gets 5 quick ones to bring up a second and 5. Louis Wright made the stop up there at the left cornerback. Barney Chavis, Carter in the middle, and Rulon Jones, perhaps the best pass rusher of that group. There's no huddle by the 49ers as you look at the defensive unit of the Denver Broncos. Draw play, Roger Craig, and this time read well by the surging Bronco defense, but there's a gain of about 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and a long 3. 49ers came out doing what Dan Reeves told us the Broncos might do, and that is going without a huddle. That, of course, to keep the specialized players out of there, the situational players, if you will. And the 49ers now have a 3rd down and a long 2. The wide receivers are in. Jerry Rice, the rookie out of Mississippi Valley State. Going to Mike Wilson, Dwight Clark, and Freddie Solomon. They'll put it in the air. Indeed, they did. They go with the draw, and they get the 1st down. Good call, the Niners. They had their tight ends out, all the wide receivers. And Roger Craig gets the 1st down on the draw play out to the 37-yard line. O.J., he's doing it all for the 49ers. He represents about 30% of their offense thus far this season.
He's one of the most underrated backs in football. As a fullback, I think he's the best in the game today, the way it's played. And he may be the first player ever to get 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in one season.
On 1st down, Montana back again. Chased out of the pocket. Gets in trouble, but he finds the clutch man. That's Jerry Rice, who worked back to him. The rookie out of Mississippi Valley State, who earlier in this year had a little problem handling the ball. A couple of weeks ago, he dropped a sure touchdown against the Rams. But last week he was sure-handed. 3 receptions for 70 yards against the Eagles, and they have high hopes for Jerry Rice. He gets 6 yards out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Well, that's what this Denver defense is going to have to do. Pressure Montana and run him out of the pocket.
Denver crowd, they're into it very early. Montana, 3-step drop. Dwight Clark gets away from one Bronco defender. And before Tony Lilly makes the stop, but it's a 49er first down. They're near the 45-yard line of the Denver Broncos.
And that's where that size of Dwight Clark really helps. He's 6'4" and 215, and he just broke that tackle of Mike Harden like he wasn't even there.
You're right, Joe. We're going to take an ISO at this, Joe. But you're right. This is something that Dwight used to do quite often before he got that knee injury last year. A lot like Dave Parks used to be for this 49er team.
Tony Lilly has been filling in for the past few weeks for Steve Foley, who ordinarily will be a free safety. Steve Foley was activated tonight, but it is Lilly starting again, a free safety for Denver. On 1st and 10. Derek Harmon is thrown for a 2-yard loss by Jim Ryan, the outside linebacker who came across, met the block, and made the stop. And as I mentioned earlier, big shoes that Harmon is filling tonight, the second-year man from Cornell. Wendell Tyler, the leading rusher into the night for the 49ers, unable to go because of both an ankle and a knee problem, perhaps the knee problem troubling him the most. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Rice goes to the sideline. John Frank and Russ Francis, 2 tight ends, are in. Mike Wilson, Freddie Solomon are the wide receivers. That's Solomon on the move. Here's Roger Craig. Good running by Roger Craig as he gets down near the 40-yard line. He'll get about 6 out of that. But it will leave the 49ers in a passing situation, a 3rd down and 6.
Very interesting contrast between these two teams. The philosophy of the defense of Denver is to give up the little gains, but hopefully during the course of a drive they'll get a turnover, while the 49ers offensive philosophy is to get the little gains all the way down the field.
49ers open this drive at their 20-yard line. Craig is a single setback. Keep in mind, he's a super receiver out of that backfield. Montana wants it all. Tries to get it to Jerry Rice. Good defensive effort by Steve Wilson. And the 49ers have decision time in the high-altitude air. And they bring out the punter, other than the place kicker. It'll be Max Runniger. It would have been an extremely long kick for Ray Wersching. Deep is Gerald Wilhite. Dan Reeves, the coach, likes to use Wilhite back there in the decision area, whether to field it, make a fair catch, or let it go out of bounds. Bad kick by Max Runniger off the side of his foot. And that kick maybe will lose yardage. A 1-yard kick it appears to be by Max Runniger. He was looking to put it out of bounds in the right corner. Off the side of the foot. He gets 1 yard out of it, and the Broncos have great field position at their own 40-yard line. You got a 1-yard punt, and the Broncos have a 1st and 10, their first possession of the night, at their own 40-yard line. 49ers had a drive. They used up a little over 4 minutes. And now here are the Broncos. John Elway, 53% of the air, 12 touchdowns, 11th rated in the AFC. All he does is win. On 1st down, Elway looks for Steve Watson, incomplete. And let's take a look at the offensive unit. It'll alternate. Sammy Winder will be in there behind John Elway, and those are his numbers. Most yards passing in the NFL into the night. Hurry up offense, as Dan Reeves told us this morning he might try to go with, to keep the 49ers out of a 4-down line situation he thought was perhaps their toughest defense. 2nd and 10. Winder perhaps surges for 2 yards. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage. Carried for a couple. And let's see if the Broncos go back to the huddle or they go from the line of scrimmage. And it looks as though they will go directly from the line of scrimmage, having already called the play. It'll be 3rd down and 8. opportunity for messing up here is very real indeed. Elway. Incomplete. Winder never had possession, and the Broncos will have to punt. I wonder, O.J., Joe Namath, if what you gain by hurry-up offense is worth it, considering you really have a chance to sort of helter-skelter.
Well, I'm a firm believer if you're going to go this early in the game with a hurry-up offense, the play should have been called in the huddle before the down lineman can get set.
Yeah, well, the hurry-up offense, just a 2-minute offense. They have probably their entire offense that they can call at the line of scrimmage, so it really shouldn't affect Denver's offense adversely. They should be able to handle it all right.
Chris Norman to punt. Dana McLemore is deep. Beautiful punt by Norman. He's leading the league in net average, and you can see why. He got a lot of distance out of that punt, but more than that, he had great hang time. 46-yard punt. And the 49ers will be backed up at their 12-yard line. And we'll be back with the Niners' second possession of the night. Picked up a lot of snow and more predicted for tomorrow here in the Rocky Mountains. First and 10, the 49ers. The ball at their 12-yard line. It remains Roger Craig and Derek Harmon, the setbacks. Craig 33, Harmon 24. Montana tries to squeeze it in to Freddie Solomon, incomplete. And let's talk about the quarterback and the cold weather, Joe.
Well, personally, I don't like playing in the cold weather because it does affect the hands and the grip on the ball. That was a heck of a defensive play by Louis Wright that last time, though. A great block. I've always found playing in Shea Stadium and up north and in weather like this, the pigskin gets cold, it gets slippery, your hands are slippery, and you just can't throw a football as accurately as you can under normal weather conditions, a good weather condition. And it's more difficult to catch the ball as well.
Second down and 10, the 49ers. Craig is a single setback. Montana slides out of the pocket. Tries to go to Solomon. He was well covered, incomplete. It'll be third down. Obviously, Montana did not like the route that Freddie Solomon gave him.
Now, Montana's one of the best there is at buying time back there as a quarterback, moving out of the pocket smartly left to right, and he's probably the best thrower as a quarterback in the NFL while on the run. But Denver's doing exactly what they need to do to slow down this San Francisco attack. Get pressure on Montana.
9:52 remaining the first quarter. No score from Denver, Colorado on a chilly night. The 49ers and the Denver Broncos. Third down and 10. Down goes Montana. Had he not slipped, he would have been sacked at the 3-yard line. The safety blitz was on. Dennis Smith, a hard hitter, was in there. He was questionable tonight because of a pulled thigh muscle. He makes a superb play, and the 49ers will kick from their end zone.
The good play by Denver. Dennis Smith came out. He lined up on Freddie Solomon as if he was going to cover him man-to-man. Then he blitzed.
The speed is back for Denver. Vance Johnson, the rookie from Arizona, with great speed. Max Zuniger kicking from the end zone. Here is Vance Johnson. And again, you saw a slip on the part of Vance Johnson. But Denver has great field position now. They'll be near the 37-yard line of the 49ers. Super game tonight, and of course, a week from tonight, we'll be in the nation's capital where the Washington Redskins have really got to get their act together if they have any hopes at all in that Eastern Division of the NFC. They were defeated, of course, yesterday by Washington, while the Giants took the Rams. Joe Theismann, Art Monk, and, of course, Phil Simms of the Giants, and that great defensive unit they have, headed by Lawrence Taylor. First down and 10, Denver. Winder is the single setback. Vance Johnson, who started for Butch Johnson tonight, was in motion as Winder tries the middle and gets inside the 35-yard line of the 49ers. Gain of 3.
In looking at the field, it may look like it's really wet, but it's not quite as wet as it might appear. The grass is extremely long and it's flat. So if you're running at if you're trying to cut with the way the grass is laying, you'll slip right under it. If you try to cut against the lay of the grass, you're not going to slip as much.
Grass, of course, pressed down because it was covered for the past 2 days by a tarpaulin. Removed just before game time. It's second down and 7. Winder tripped up, Sprawls to the 30-yard line, short of a first down, and they'll mark it at the 31-yard line. It was Michael Walter who tripped up Winder.
One of the reasons Denver will have some success running inside the defensive ends on passing situations is the 49ers are very conscious of Elway rolling out, so their defensive ends will rush upfield, so Denver should be able to run inside of the defensive ends of the 49ers.
The passing backs are in. 30, Steve Sewell, the rookie from Oklahoma. Gerald Willite, number 47. 49ers showing blitz. They drop out of it. Elway with a strike to Steve Watson. He has a powerful arm. You had a great view of it. He thought he was going to get blitzed. He went immediately to Watson. Watson read it with him, and even though the 49ers got out of it, he was able to get it to him.
Yeah, he takes a short drop here, and he hits what we call a simple hitch pattern. But I want to tell you, he has some velocity on that football. And that's one of the problems he's having this year. As Coach Reeves pointed out this morning, sometimes John just doesn't take some of the heat off the ball on some of the shorter passes, and his receivers can't handle it.
Wouldn't Billy Kilmer would have loved to have had a spiral like that. First and 10, the Broncos now on the move. This is Winder. Turns the corner and gets to the 15-yard line. Todd Shell, Ronnie Lott, they were both there.
Well, the cold weather really doesn't affect the runner too much when you're out on the field and there's 11 guys after you. You're not too worried about the weather. The key to it, though, is when you come out for warm-ups to really get warm and to go in the locker room and try to get hot if you can.
Second down and 4. The ball inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. Winder once again finds an opening inside the 5 to the 4. He has a first down. Or very close to it.
I'll tell you, Keith Bishop, the left guard, pulled, and he put a block on the linebacker. I believe it was Tina Turner. But, well, he was wide awake now if he was sleeping. Watch number 54 pull here in the center of the screen now, going to your right, and hit this linebacker. That's a good block right there.
Keith Bishop, the left guard, and it's close to a first down, but they'll bring the sticks out.
You know, we keep mentioning this cold weather. Again, it affects quarterbacks, I believe, more than anyone else, because the hands get cold. And again, handling that pigskin when it's cold, it's awful slick. It's hard to have a good grip on it. And there's really nothing a quarterback can do except keep blowing on his hands or try to keep his hands warm throughout the course of the game.
Dan Reeves, now in his 5th year, a year ago, 13-3. He won the tough Western Division of the AFC with a 13-3 record, got knocked off in the playoffs by the Pittsburgh Steelers. First down, goal to go. The Broncos are at the 49ers' 9-yard line. Winder, the 3 tight ends are in for the Broncos, and Winder is held short of the 5-yard line. Gain of about 2 is all.
Tackle by Turner.
It'll be second down, goal to go at the 7-yard line. Keena Turner, first man there for the 49ers, as he frequently is.
7-yard line.
I think you would say, Joe, at this time and stage of the game, no matter what the weather is, at this point, the guys who are playing, they forgot about what the temperature is. It really doesn't matter at this point.
Now, I don't think it matters what the temperature is to most of the guys, but to the quarterback, I think it does.
Second and goal at the 7. Elway. Winder inside the 5, but he's tripped up.
Got about the 4.
Carlton Williamson came up, and Walters slid out from that inside linebacking position.
Well, if Elway had that pass on the money, they may have scored a touchdown that time. He threw the ball behind Sammy, had it turned around, and that's really what stopped him from getting a better gain or even a score.
Third down, goal to go. Gene Lang is in the backfield now for the Broncos, number 33. Ball is marked close to the 3-yard line. Elway fires a shot. That's Lang out of the backfield. Tremendous pressure on Elway by Jeff Stover, but again you saw the strong arm of John Elway. Moving away from the receiver, Joe, he just fired it on a string.
Well, he threw a strike that time. And That was one heck of a catch for Lang because he did have a lot of heat on that ball when he passed it. Lang just runs an arrow pattern and gets ahead of the linebacker that's trying to catch up with him, Todd Shell.
Well, that's what we said earlier. The thing the 49ers didn't want to happen is to let Elway get outside on those rollouts and those bootlegs, and he was able to get around Jeff Stover on that play.
Carlos for the conversion. Talk about your cold nights. What if you're a barefooted place kicker? He spanks it through. And the Broncos, with 4:47 remaining in the first quarter, have opened the scoring here in Denver. They lead the 49ers 7-0, and we'll be back at Mile High Stadium in just a moment. The opening kickoff the game. Carl Monroe and Derek Harmon apparently were not speaking to each other. They let the ball bounce into the end zone. Carlos again with a short kick, similar to the opening kickoff. This time it's Derek Harmon who handles. And Harmon out to the 32-yard line. San Francisco 49ers, 5-4, but they won their last two games, while the Rams in their division, the Western Division of the NFC, has lost their last two. So in 2 weeks, the 49ers could pick up a couple of games on the Rams. Frank Gifford, along with Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson, watching this inter-conference game between the 49ers and the Denver Broncos. Broncos on their second possession of the night. Got a touchdown pass from John Elway to Gene Lang from 3 yards out. They lead the 4:37 remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. On first down, Montana, a little play action fake. Again, he gets the pressure and he goes down. Down goes Montana. That's Andre Townsend. Montana sacked for the second time, this time all the way back to the 20-yard line. Rulon Jones put a lot of pressure on Montana, made him scramble out of the pocket, and Townsend was there.
Well, they crossed up San Francisco that time. They have 4 defensive linemen in the game. They'd been playing only 3 linemen, and obviously somebody missed a blocking assignment.
Montana has now been sacked on the season 24 times. He was sacked only 22 times in 15 games all of last season. Second down and 21. Montana gets it to Harmon over the middle, and Harmon works to the 29-yard line, where it'll be third down and 13. Ken Woodard defensively there for Denver.
That's the kind of pass play that Denver defense loves to see in that pass situation. They want them to throw the short, quick pass. They don't mind if they complete it. They're only going to gain 6 or 7 yards and still have a long third down to go.
Well, this game is a long way from being over, but anytime you can keep the 49ers off the scoreboard in their first 2 or 3 possessions, you've gone a long way to beating this team.
That really was the story of their 15-1 season a year ago. They usually got so many points in the first quarter. That has not been the case this year. Montana to Sterry Rice, and it's incomplete. And the punting unit comes out again for the 49ers. And back goes Vance Johnson, the rookie second-round draft pick from Arizona. There he is. The Broncos use him as a wide receiver. He has great speed. He ran 100 meters in 10.29 at Arizona. He was a tailback and an all Pac-10 tailback as a sophomore. So he has great running talent. Max Bruniger spanks it and keeps it away from Vance Johnson with a fine kick that goes out of bounds near the 23-yard line. So the Broncos have it again. John Elway gets final instructions from head coach Danny Reeves, and we'll be right back. Winder, there is the reverse. The speedster Vance Johnson does not fool the 49er defense. Dwayne Board catching that from behind right at the line of scrimmage. A reminder, live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time Saturday, Penn State against Notre Dame from Beaver Stadium, University Park in Pennsylvania. Saturday here on CFA College Football, undefeated in #1 ranked Penn State. They'll be taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and they've been hot in recent weeks. Or Heisman hopeful Bo Jackson and Auburn will battle a Southeast Conference rival, Georgia. So check the local listing for the game in your area. Auburn versus Georgia or Penn State versus Notre Dame. There was a loss of a yard, so it's second down and 11 as we watch Winder over the right side, and Winder to the 25-yard line. To bring up a 3rd down and 9. Michael Carter sliding out there from nose tackle to make the stop. Winder, the only Pro Bowl representative for the Denver Broncos, who quite frankly feel they don't get much respect on the Pro Bowl balloting. He had a 1,100-yard season a year ago, but when you have a 13-3 team and you only have one Pro Bowler, perhaps you're thinking about not getting any respect is proper. They must be doing something right. 3rd and 9. Elway tried to get it in to Bass Johnson. Ronnie Lott reached around, knocked it away.
Hey, he was really covered that time. Ronnie Lott had him covered like a blanket. I don't know why John threw it in there. Maybe he thought he was the only one that had a chance of catching it.
The punting unit comes on for Denver. That means Chris Norman came into tonight leading the NFL in net yardage at 38.6. Dana McLemore is back. And the kicking game is going to play a major role tonight.
That was number 54, Ron Ferrari, who broke through there. He's a backup linebacker from Illinois. He went in as if he, look at the left side of your screen, you'll see him taken inside. No one picked him up. I don't know if the block was on, but when he wasn't blocked, he did the right thing. He made a beeline for the punter and got his hands up and on the ball.
So we've seen a block punt. We've seen a 1-yard punt. And the 49ers are inside the 40-yard line of the Denver Broncos. Dwight Clark splits left. Freddie Solomon goes right. Pair of tight ends are in, Russ Francis and John Frank. Montana fires to the tight end, Frank, and Frank will have a 1st down near the 26-yard line. Let's take a look at Ron Ferrari. Nobody even touched him. Came in freewheeling. 4th-year man out of Illinois, special teams player and a good one.
How important the kicking game is.
49ers, 1st and 10, 26-yard line of Denver. The Niners trailing the Broncos 7-0. This is Derek Harmon. And Harmon just bowling inside the 20-yard line. Gain of 7 before he's upended by Carl Mecklenburg, who opened at the inside linebacker tonight for the Broncos, replacing Rick Dennison, who has a very sore ankle. Derek Harmon, of course, is in there, as I mentioned earlier, because of a knee and an ankle problem with Wendell Tyler. That's the time remaining in the 1st quarter. 2nd and 3. Roger Craig. Roger Craig, and you can understand why he's having such a superb year.
I tell you, he does something. You know, you have an exercise during training camp where you run the ropes. You run the ropes to get high knee action. Evidently, this kid has been taught since high school to use good high knee action. Now watch him. He more than jumped. That's knee action. Most guys would have gone down when his right leg was grabbed, but he has good leg action and he's able to step through the tacklers and get a good gain.
1st down and 10. Derek Harmon. Little opening. He works it inside the 10, down around the 8-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The 49ers can get a 1st down at the 2-yard line. Tom Jackson, who started tonight for the first time this season, the veteran linebacker of the Denver Broncos, made the stop. Seconds ticking away here in the 1st quarter. Down to 20. 49ers should be able to get another play off. Roger Craig, 5.6 average, led the NFL per carry coming into the night. Montana with a little bootleg, but great coverage by Denver. And he finally had to check it off to Craig.
And that's a big play that Carl Mecklenburg has been making. That's the kind of big play he's been making all season long. He has 7 sacks also. And Coach Reeves told us today that he just has to get Mecklenburg in there. He makes so many big plays. He wants him in the game more often. That was a terrific block pass there.
And I mentioned the 5.6 average per carry by Roger Craig. He also, after 9 games, was tied for the lead in number of receptions. So that's the kind of year he's having. And Mecklenburg stayed right with him.
What is a guy named number 77 doing covering a running back out of the backfield?
He's playing inside linebacker.
3rd and 7. Montana tried to squeeze it off to Mike Wilson. Mike Wilson covered well. Tony Lilly was there. So it'll be 4th down when we come back and resume the second quarter. We'll be back in just a moment. With the Denver Broncos leading the San Francisco 49ers 7-0. The field goal unit is on for the 49ers. That means Ray Wersching. And if he's successful on this short field goal attempt, he will become the all-time leading scorer for the San Francisco 49ers, replacing Tommy Davis. A 26-yard attempt. Matt Cavanaugh is the holder. Randy Cross provides the snap. And the 49ers are on the scoreboard. And for Ray Wersching, he becomes the all-time leading scorer for the 49ers. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Nissan, builders of technologically advanced cars and trucks for over 50 years. A cool night, to say the least, here in Denver, but not affecting the game dramatically as it did a year ago. If you might recall, we were here a little more than a year ago on a night that the Denver Broncos met the Green Bay Packers, and 10 inches of snow dropped that night, and I don't think we'll ever forget it. Neither were the Packers, because before Denver's offensive team ever got onto the field, or rather Green Bay's offensive team, Denver's offensive team got on the field, Denver had run up 14 points. Numbers for the first quarter, very close. John Elway with the strong arm, getting the touchdown pass to Jane Lang from 3 yards out. And a key pass also to Steve Watson to keep the drive alive. Wersching kicks to Vance Johnson, and he'll bring it out. Johnson out over the 25 to the 27-yard line, hit there by Torrey Nixon. There is now the all-time leading scorer for these 49ers, having replaced Tommy Davis, who kicked for the 49ers for so many years. Wersching not having the kind of year I'm sure that he wishes he was having. Over the past couple of weeks has missed some short ones. 1st and 10, the Broncos. In their own 27. Watson is in motion. Elway rifles it out to Vance Johnson. And I'm sure that's the play just to utilize the running skill of Vance Johnson and the great speed. If he could ever break one, he would be gone. And that time, he has a pickup of about 7 before Dwight Hicks takes him out of bounds.
And that was just the right defense for Denver to go against with that play. It was a zone, and so the cornerback, Eric Wright, was really playing deep that time, gave him some running room.
On 2nd down and 3. Winder, he has the 1st down out to the 40-yard line before he's hit hard by Ronnie Lott.
Well, it's interesting to see Ronnie Lott making those tackles on the end zone, inside rather, and see Dwight Hicks make a tackle on the outside. As you know, Dwight Hicks is an all-pro safety, and of course, Ronnie Lott has been an all-pro corner. But because of some of Ronnie's injury problems, he's playing inside more, and Hicks is playing outside more, even though they prefer you call them one a corner and the other one still a safety.
Now Ronnie Lott is at the free safety spot on the 1st and 10. That's Clint Sampson, number 84, in the move. And Sampson is the receiver. Sampson to the 40-yard line. So once again, it's Ronnie Lott. Another 1st down for Denver on a pickup of 20 yards.
And I am convinced that these plays are designed to take advantage of the fact that Dwight Hicks is not a normal cornerback.
I wouldn't doubt it. Nearly fumbles the ball right here. I say the ball is slippery. That was a nice catch by Elway, and he gets it out there nicely. James Wright, number 87, watch his block. He does a good job of getting out there, the tight end.
The 1st down is near the 40-yard line. Winder once again. And Winder shows his 1,000-yard-a-season skill to the 35-yard line. Hit at the line of scrimmage, and he just surges forward. Carries tacklers for a gain of 5. It'll be second down and 5. Dwight Clark trying to stay warm on the sideline. 20 degrees. And it's expected to stay just about 20 degrees throughout the evening. And another storm expected to move into the area sometime tomorrow. Winder once again. Winder could find nothing happening on the left side, and he goes down just about the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up third down and 5. Michael Walter got out there along with Torrey Nixon. And the specialist defense comes in for the 49ers, and the specialist offensive players come in for the Denver Broncos. There's a loss of about 1 on that play, so we'll call it third down and 6. From the shotgun, Elway had a lot of pressure and had to try to get it early to Vance Johnson. The pressure is coming on the blitz. Jeff Fuller. Elway had no opportunity. Fuller was right in his face. He tried to hurry one. Tried to get it to Vance Johnson. Incomplete. And here comes Chris Norman. Punting unit for the Denver Broncos is on. Mentioned earlier, has not been all that successful. Perhaps he has not had to in kicking the ball out of bounds inside the 20, 10 of 50 this season. This time he kind of caught that on the inside of his foot. They mark it out close to the 20-yard line. And they settle on the 22-yard line. So not much of a pickup on that punt.
Not for the man that's doing the best job in the entire NFL this year with an over 38-yard net average.
Well, that's a good likeness of you two, but I don't think it's a very good likeness of me.
Head's too small.
We'll be right back.
Tied an NFL record by returning 2 fumbles for touchdowns.
As I tried to say a little earlier, both record-tying touchdown fumble returns came in the first 37 seconds of what we call the snowball game. The 49ers have a first and 10. They're at their own 22-yard line. We are in the early going of the second quarter. They trailed the Denver Broncos 7-3. 49ers having a difficult time getting any kind of a rhythm. They've been running the ball well. Now it's Roger Craig and Harmon. There are the setbacks, and this is Roger Craig. And he turns inside and hit immediately by Jim Ryan. Craig held for about a 3-yard pickup. It'll be second down and 7. At halftime, we want you to be with us because we're going to take a look at the modern monsters of the Midway. Of course, the Chicago Bears under Mike Ditka, off to a 10-0 record. Been many a year since that's happened. Halftime highlights of some of the key games around the league, so be with us at halftime. Second and 7. Montana underthrows Dwight Clark, and Montana is flattened, and he is slow getting up. He came in tonight after missing last week's game against Philadelphia with a severely bruised sternum and left collarbone, but he appears to be all right.
Well, what Denver did on that play is that they put number 77, Carl Mecklenburg, down, and he rushed like a down lineman. So they had 5 down linemen rushing, and when you look at Mecklenburg, who Joe spoke of earlier as a linebacker, he's 6'3", 250 pounds, so he can't play defensive end or tackle.
It was Andre Thompson who delivered the blow. Third and 7. Montana, Roger Craig. And Craig held short of the first down on the hit of Tony Lilly. Good effort by Lilly. Craig trying to get the first down. Lilly drives him out of bounds. And out comes the punting unit again for the 49ers.
I think the 49ers are a little bit out of sync. Denver's crossed them up by playing these 4 down linemen by adding Andre Townsend in there. They haven't been playing 4 linemen this season, basically 3 linemen and 4 linebackers.
Vance Johnson is deep for the Broncos. Runninger gets a good foot into that one, and here comes Vance Johnson. Out to the 33-yard line. 44-yard punt that time by Runninger. Return of 7 by Vance Johnson. But relatively good field position for the Denver Broncos, and we'll be back in just a moment. Joe Montana getting off the telephone after perhaps discussing a defense that he perhaps did not expect to see tonight, that of the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, the Broncos have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 33-yard line with 11:30 remaining in the first half. They have a 7-3 lead over the 49ers. Elway with a lot of time checks it off and goes to James Wright. And Wright, a 9-yard pickup before he's dropped by Carlton Williamson, and that is John Elway, vintage John Elway.
Well, John had a lot of time to throw the football. They rushed 4 men, counting the linebacker Todd Shell, and San Francisco went into your basic zone defense. And what happened when John had so much time, Carlton Williamson, the strong safety, kept getting deeper and deeper in the secondary, and that's the reason James Wright was so wide open for the game.
I like the way he looked around, waited and waited, and finally found Wright. 2nd and 1. A flea flicker play. Elway hangs it high. And coming down with the football is Vance Johnson. Dan Reeves said we want him in there because of his speed. He ran under a John Elway bomb. He's inside the 10-yard line. 51-yard effort. He split defenders Eric Wright and Carlton Williamson, and Elway was right on target.
Right, and Vance came from all the way across the football field, from the right side of your screen to the left side of the screen. He simply ran a sprint pattern, and he beat the defenders. Nice catch, too, and a perfect throw by John Elway.
I'll tell you, that was a great pass. Vance Johnson, as I mentioned, was an Olympic alternate as a long jumper in '84, so he had to have great speed. He's run the 100 meters in 10.29. Elway just hung it up there, and Vance Johnson, the rookie from Arizona, was there. 1st down, goal to go. Winder, Tommy Winder slips, gets to his feet, works it to the 6-yard line for a gain of 1, perhaps 2. John Hardy made the stop. Let's take a look at Vance Johnson in regular speed. He even has a sprinter's use of his arm, O.J.
Yes, he is. He's a long jumper. He has that long jumper speed, and he didn't beat any 2 defenders. Carlton Williamson and Eric Wright are 2 all-pro defensive backs.
2nd down, goal to go, as they have marked it at the 6-yard line. 3 tight ends for the Broncos. James Wright, Mike Barber, Clarence Kay, they're all there. But Elway wants to put it in the air. Elway held him again for a long time. Fires it. And now they say no, incomplete. Todd Shell covering Mike Barber.
Barber thought he held on the ball long enough for it to be a touchdown, but the officials didn't think so. John kept his cool, hung in there, then hit Barber over the middle, but he didn't quite hold on to it.
In the reverse angle camera, you can see right here, it was ruled he never had possession of it. He had crossed the plane of the goal line. And now, for the Broncos, his 3rd down, goal to go. Elway, 7 of 12, 105 yards. He has the 1 touchdown.
There's no one covering. Now they're rushing out here to cover Watson.
Watson could not believe what he saw. He was out there all by himself before finally the 49ers awakened and put Dana McLemore over there. Elway looked it over. He didn't like it. He calls timeout. We'll be right back. 49ers have been able to move the ball on the ground with Craig. But right now, the Broncos leading 7-3 are threatening once again. 3rd down, goal to go at the 7-yard line. Elway throws it high to Watson. Does he get both feet down? Yes, he does. Watson beats Torrey Nixon. They have the rookie from San Diego State out there all alone on Steve Watson. Elway saw that. He put it up high, and the 6'4" Watson beat the 5'11" Torrey Nixon.
Yes, and he does have one foot down on the ground, and he would have gotten the other had the defender not knocked him out of bounds. Well, he got it anyway. Nice goal.
Sellout crowd here in Denver, and they love the way things are going with 8:59 remaining in the first half. Rich Carlos for the conversion. And we have a 14-3 game. The Broncos, with a win tonight, will move out to a one-game lead over the Raiders and the Seahawks in the AFC West. Than any other receiver in the AFC. And let's take a look at Steve Watson here working against Torrey Nixon. Blitz was on, so that meant individual coverage. But Nixon was giving up 5 inches. Elway put it there perfectly. Carlos sets the kickoff. Carl Monroe is back with Derek Harmon. This time Carlos puts it way up high. And Monroe from the 3. Monroe makes the corner. Great effort. And it was Carlos who makes the save at the 49-yard line of the Broncos. But a terrific return by Monroe. He just outraced the Denver outside man.
And Carlos is still on the ground.
Take a look at it. They had a right return on, and Carl Monroe had some good speed. You may recall he scored the first touchdown for the 49ers in the Super Bowl last year. Did a good job, and he really lays it to Carlos.
Carlos had to make the save at the 49-yard line, but it was a good effort as Monroe, we remember him with the first touchdown in the Super Bowl. Good all-around player. Free agent out of Utah back in 1983, and they are very concerned now about Carlos. Carlos gets an appreciative ovation from the partisan crowd here at Mile High Stadium.
He better get his shoe on or he's going to have frost-bitten toes in a minute.
49ers, great field position. The ball out over their 48-yard line. Montana underthrows Dwight Clark. It'll be 2nd and 10. Steve Wilson was covering Dwight Clark, but he was there had Montana been able to get it there.
Well, I'll tell you, when you're getting pressure on a quarterback, you don't always have to tackle him with the ball. Just pressuring the quarterback's going to foul up his rhythm, and Joe looks like he's out of sync right now a little bit.
Well, you can call it blitz or not blitzing, but number 77, once again, Mecklenburg, is coming just about every play, so you're looking at 5 down linemen coming at you.
2nd and 10. Jerry Rice, wide receiver for the 49ers, split to the left. Dwight Clark, top of your screen. Montana under pressure again, and that one was almost picked off. Steve Foley activated just today after missing several weeks with a dislocated shoulder, almost picked that one off. The Denver Bronco defense is pressuring the 49ers offense all over the field.
I was going to say, I got to give Joe Collier, the defensive coordinator of this Denver team, credit, because they're rushing 5 men every play. They're moving Mecklenburg around. He's coming from a different direction each time.
And that time he was the nose tackle when he rushed the passer.
3rd and 10. Dwight Clark, Solomon split to the left. The 49ers will keep it on the ground. On 3rd and 10, the 49ers make it sweep right, and Roger Craig far short of the first down, and the 49ers will have to punt. So this Carl Mecklenburg again on the stop.
And this time they lined him up at left defensive end. As O.J. mentioned, they've been shifting him around. Here he is at the left defensive end position, making the play on Roger Craig. He fights off the block by big Russ Francis and makes a nice tackle.
Danny Reeves said we have to have him in there, and you can see why. Max running to the punt. High kick. Gerald Wilhite will have to fair catch at the 10-yard line. Just about halfway now through the 3rd quarter, or rather 2nd quarter. And the Broncos leading it 14-3. Big one tonight for Denver. And, of course, the 49ers, and what a must game it will be next week for the Washington Redskins when they take on the Giants down at Robert F. Kennedy Stadium in the nation's capital. Redskins really on the brink, if you will, as the Giants, now the Dallas Cowboys on top of the NFC Eastern Division. And word on Rich Carlos, the kicker for the Broncos, who made the stop on Carl Monroe, is that he is fine. He will be able to continue. 1st and 10, the Broncos. Sammy Winder to the 15-yard line. Michael Carter slid off his block at nose tackle and made the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Well, that's a good offensive blocking by the line. Billy Bryant, Paul Howard, and Keith Bishop, the interior of that line, because anytime you can get a nose tackle to make a tackle 5 yards downfield, well, the offensive line is very happy.
Somebody's tagging.
Winder now has worked for a tough 43 yards on 12 attempts. Elway has the time. Trying to get it deep to Sampson, and he makes a spectacular diving catch and then loses the ball when he collides with the ground. Dwight Hicks was back there defending, but Sampson was behind him, dove for the football, and it looked like he was going to be able to hold it. He could not.
Once again, we're looking at a guy who is normally playing safety, playing cornerback, Sampson, who averages over 21 yards a catch. He already has 3 TDs, almost made one spectacular catch on that one.
3rd down and 5. And it came so close to being a 1st down deep in the 49ers territory. Good effort by Sampson. Just off his fingertips. Elway tries to get it to Wilhite, incomplete, and the Broncos will have to punt. 7:04 remaining now in the 2nd quarter. Elway knew he had him open. He had him open for a 1st down. John Elway, #1 pick in the '83 draft by Baltimore. He would not accept that. Traded to Denver for a 1st-round draft pick in '83 that represented Chris Hinton, who is an all-pro linebacker now with the Colts. Another 1st-round draft pick in quarterback Mark Herman. They paid dearly to get him, and they feel he is going to be the franchise here for many years to come. Dana McLemore is deep for the 49ers. Great effort by Norman, and then he loses it. And the 49ers will have the ball inside the 5-yard line. A bad snap. Glenn Hyde provides the snap. That was well over the head of Chris Norman. It looked for a moment as if he would get it down. He did not do so.
We've talked in the past weeks about how important the kicking game is. It actually takes up 25% of your plays. How many ways a team can lose in the kicking game and win in the kicking game? Here's another example.
But a major break for the 49ers. That represents about a 50-yard turnover. Gary Carmen to the 2-yard line.
Carmen picked up 2.
Having a bit of a technical problem here in Denver tonight. Had what we call a power hit, and that has hurt some of our replay facilities, a couple of our cameras. 49ers, 2nd down, goal to go. The ball at the 2-yard line.
This crowd is really getting into the act now.
Montana. Brilliant. Earl Cooper. Brilliant. Yes or no? There's a consultation, and now they decide he was out of the back of the end zone. Earl Cooper was the receiver, and after the consultation, it was ruled not a catch. And again, we are extremely sorry. We have had a technical problem, what we call a power hit. It has knocked out our replay facilities. For the 49ers, 3rd down and goal to go. The ball at the 2-yard line. Roger Craig off his fingertips. Dennis Smith was covering, but Montana had it right there on a pass that should have been 6.
It's 4th down.
It's 4th down, goal to go. Montana looks to the sidelines. And Bill Walsh will make the decision. The ball is at the 2-yard line. And the 49ers on 4th and goal at the 2 will try to get it in. They are trailing 14-3.
We're only talking about ego and pride right now. The 49ers are defending world champions, and I don't think they feel good about themselves if they couldn't score a touchdown from the 2-yard line on 4 downs.
This could be the ball game, however, if you don't get it in. And they do not get it in. 4 times they tried from within the 5-yard line. And credit Joe Collier and a great hustling Denver defense as the defending Super Bowl champions are turned away.
Now, you want to know why Joe Collier has been the defensive coordinator for this team for about 17 years now, through 4 head coaches and 3 owners? Well, that's one of the reasons they've kept him here. The fans have learned to appreciate defense in Denver.
He loves the climate here, too.
I'm not buying that one, Frank.
Denver, they have the ball at the 1-yard line. They gave the 49ers a golden opportunity, and then they took it away. Winder trying to get breathing room for the Broncos. Michael Carter at the bottom of that pile.
And the Broncos aren't out of trouble yet. They're still backed up. The back is to their own end zone. If the 49ers can hold them, they'll get the ball in good position again. I'm sure that's what Coach Walsh was thinking whenever he shunned the field goal and went for the touchdown.
I think he was just mad.
Yeah, I think that too. Yeah. You're right.
2nd down and 8. Elway, Watson. And Watson has a 1st down for the Broncos. He's out to the 16-yard line as Carlton Williamson made the stop.
Beautifully timed pass off the play action. Watson simply ran down about 12 yards and then turned to the inside, and Elway hit him right on the numbers.
I will advise you once again, we have lost all our power to our tape truck. We do not have our graphics facilities, our replay facilities. We are working frantically, as you might imagine, to get everything pulled back together again. So please bear with us. 1st and 10. They have marked it at the 17-yard line. The Broncos on the move. That's Winder, and he squeezes through a little opening out close to the 22-yard line. A gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Again, Keith Bishop, the left guard, pulled around the center and led through the hole that time to enable Winder to get those 4 yards.
Winder looked to the sidelines. He wanted to come out. Dan Reeves sent Gene Lang in. Lang came back off the field, and now they'll bring Winder out, and Gene Lang will stay in. On 2nd down. Lang bounces off a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and he gets up close to a Denver 1st down.
Some hard hitting going on out there. That was Ronnie Lott that made the initial contact on Lang, but Lang kept going.
Well, they've been playing that position, halfback or fullback, by committee lately between Sammy Winder, Gerald Wilhite, and Gene Lang. And between the 3 of them, they've rushed for over 800 yards. They have over 60 receptions and 12 touchdowns. So as a committee, they're doing a pretty decent job.
Lang gets the 1st down. Remember, the 49ers had a 1st down goal to go inside the 5-yard line. They tried 4 times. Denver got the ball back at the 1-yard line. And now they have a 1st down out of their 27-yard line. Gene Lang to the 30-yard line. Gain of almost 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Manu Tuiasosopo on the stop. 49ers have had trouble with that nose tackle position all season long. Michael Carter came back only a couple of weeks ago after being out for several weeks with a hamstring, and Tuiasosopo had a very sore ankle. John Elway directing traffic on a 2nd down and 7. Watson in motion. Watson close to another 1st down. I believe he's just short of it. Working in front of Dwight Hicks. John Elway has the hot arm tonight.
He's throwing a lot of strikes, that's for sure. That time Watson simply ran an out pattern and just barely beat Hicks to the outside, but the ball was on the money again.
They'll bring out the markers. We have 2:37 remaining in the first half. And the Broncos with a 14-3 lead over the 49ers. 49ers tonight with a victory could have moved to within 2 of the Rams. The Rams having lost their last 2 weeks ago to the 49ers and yesterday to the Giants. Meanwhile, the Broncos with a win will take a 1-game lead in the AFC Western Division over the Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. Third down, less than a yard.
Well, one thing is evident, the 49ers are going to have to make a lot of adjustments at halftime. I'm a little surprised at this point that they don't go to 4-down linemen themselves and try to get Fred Dean in the game and hope he can rejuvenate himself. He only has 1 sack thus far this year. But they need a pass rush right now.
Very difficult to rush John Elway. Superb athlete. Good scrambling. Winder, a flag is down as Winder worked for what appeared to be first down yardage. That's the first penalty flag tonight. Here's referee Jim Tunney. And it works in a negative way, holding against the Broncos.
And with the exception of the kicking game, this has been a very well-played football game.
Dan Reeves. 7 years, an all-purpose running back for the Cowboys. Paul Howard holding on the right side, but Dan Reeves for so many years a running back was a free agent out of South Carolina under Tom Landry. Quiet, calm. Now it's fun to watch him on the sidelines. He really gets into these games. All right, we now have electricity to our graphics and replay truck. Third down and 11 for Denver. They'll go from the shotgun. But we'll get the 2-minute warning before they can get the play off. John Elway is 10 of 17, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Broncos have 2 timeouts remaining, and they lead the 49ers 14-3. So check the listing for the game in your area.
And how about those dogs? They put one on the University of Florida last week. So Georgia's on the upswing. They're tied for the SEC lead as well.
Now, if you want to know the temperament of the 49er coaches, all you have to do is look out on the field. We know Gary Big Hands Johnson, number 97, had a chest injury and probably would not play tonight. Of course, we hadn't seen Fred Dean in the game yet. He's in the game now. So the 49ers are saying, hurt or not hurt, you guys are going to get in the game and stop whatever's happening out there.
There's Gary Johnson, like Fred Dean, whom O.J. mentioned a moment ago, a former San Diego Charger. Fred Dean, of course, came in '81. And there's Gary Johnson, who had a tremendous Super Bowl. He was all over Dan Marino in that 38-16 win in Super Bowl 19. Third down and 11. Elway from the shotgun for the Broncos. Here comes the blitz. Elway. And Elway, who wears a knee brace, taken out of bounds by Ronnie Lott, who actually tried to keep Elway from going down. And quite naturally, the Broncos players who are on the bench did not see that Ronnie Lott actually was trying to keep him from falling. And they jump all over Ronnie Lott. Crowd gets into it a bit also. Not that Ronnie Lott might be above it, O.J., but you can see yourself. He just gives him a little shove, and now he'll try to hold him up. And they both slip.
I don't know how much that bad knee of Elway's is affecting him, but he did slow down before he ran out of bounds that time, and I have a feeling that when he does start running that much, his knee is not up to it.
Well, Joe, you know he wears that Lennox Hill brace. I think you wore it, maybe started wearing it. I don't think he can run too well with it.
No, but it sure does protect the knee joint.
McLemore is back for the 49ers as Chris Norman gets another one off the side of his foot, the inside of his foot. and it's down at the 39-yard line.
Don't say it, Joe. I see you shaking your head. There was no way he could have got there and caught that punt.
No, I was just shaking my head at the bad punt that time.
The 49ers must feel terribly frustrated. They had the first down and goal to go inside the 5. They were turned away in 4 attempts. Now they have good field position once again at the 39-yard line. They have 1:43 on the clock remaining in the half. They have 3 timeouts remaining. Montana, and Rice is wide open. And who brings him down but Mecklenburg, who has played a whale of a football game, and we now understand even more so why Dan Reeves wants Mecklenburg in the game at all times.
But what's surprising is why did Denver go back to a 3-man down lineman instead of doing what they've done earlier with the 5-down lineman?
First down is at the 27-yard line of Denver. Montana with a lot of time. And was it picked off? Like a receiver, you have to come down with both feet in bounds. It was Mike Harden who had the football. And now there will be a consultation amongst the officials.
It certainly did not appear as if he came down in bounds.
Jim Tunney will give us the results of the consultation. And that's a good call. It won't be popular here, but he did not come down. He has, just like a receiver, has to have both feet in bounds. He made the diving effort. There's one. And excellent call. You've got to get that second foot down.
You know, getting back to that point O.J. just made, I'm surprised at the Denver defense also, why they're not rushing with the front they've been so successful with in this game, and it's puzzling to me. Now they have them in there. They have the 4-down lineman in there now.
Second and 10. Draw play, Roger Craig. And he gets down close to the 20-yard line. He needed to get to the 19 for the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. This time, the 49ers will use one of their 3 timeouts.
The thing is, the 49ers never figured it out. You know, when they had 4-down linemen and they would put Mecklenburg down for the 5th-down lineman.
What they do with those 4-down linemen and extra man rushing 5 guys is they make the offensive line, Bubba Paris, John Ayers, Fred Quinlan, Cross, and Fonhorst, they're one-on-one trying to block, so they figured none of the defenders are going to get double-teamed, and they're going to have a good chance to spring someone loose on the quarterback.
1:05 remaining here in the first half. The 49ers and the Denver Broncos. Very important game as we look at Bronco head coach Danny Reeves. Very important for both ball clubs. Denver can take a 1-game lead in their division, the Western Division of the AFC, over the Raiders in Seattle. The 49ers are trying to stay alive. They have a 5-4 record. 14-3, the Broncos lead as the 49ers go for the first down, and they do appear to have the first down yardage. It was Roger Craig. He was in the arms of Ken Woodard and Andre Townsend.
Oh.
No, and they have marked it just inside the 20, and Montana will use another timeout. It's short of the first down as they mark the progress of Craig near the 19-yard line. Short by less than a yard, and Montana will talk it over with head coach Bill Walsh.
Best running play called, my strongest running play called, and if I looked to the outside and I saw man-to-man coverage on both sides, I'd audibilize to a pass pattern because you have a whole lot of football field to work with one-on-one coverage.
I'd call upstairs and see if I can get a call into the L.A. Raiders and see if I can get Marcus Allen, and I'd have Marcus Allen go over the top.
But you just mentioned, Joe, you're going to see Dan Marino audibilize in the game-winning touchdown pass against the Jets yesterday in our highlights at halftime. 4th down, less than a yard. The 49ers have 1 timeout remaining. Roger Craig. Easy first down. He stays on his feet down to the 11-yard line, and there is 44 seconds, and the clock is moving. 49ers will have had 2 plays called, of course.
I'm surprised to see Mike Harden get up off the ground. Craig ran right over.
Montana looks for Rice in the end zone. The preliminary indication was he came down out of bounds. The official is flattened. He made that call while lying on his back. It's Bill Quinby, I believe. Yes. Bill Quinby, the field judge. And let's look at it again. Rice, the rookie from Mississippi Valley State, working against Steve Wilson. And yes, he came down well out of bounds. Clock stopped with 30 seconds remaining, and we'll look at it again, this time from the reverse angle, and you'll see the field judge, Bill Quinby, who appears to be all right, although they are still looking at him on the sidelines. He'll make the call lying on his back.
That's like holding on to it, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
Tagged and holding on to the ball.
I think he's asking the people to stop throwing those snowballs. They're liable to hurt somebody with those things.
That is responding to duty in the truest sense of the form.
Or laying down on the job. I don't know. One of the two.
Somewhere in between. I think he had to get up and away from the snowball. That was second down and 10. 30 seconds remain for the 49ers. They have the one timeout. The ball inside the 11-yard line.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see another draw or some kind of screen. We haven't seen the 49ers run any kind of screen pass yet. And as much pressure as the Denver Broncos have been putting on Joe Montana, I would think it'd come with a draw or a screen here pretty soon, or a quick trap.
Well, you know, as well as this defense of Denver's react, they're so quick and they react to the ball, sometimes screens may not be the best play to run against a defense like this.
Dwight Clark goes to the right. He's not a bad potential receiver down here. He'll go get it for you. Montana tried to get it to Clark, but again, he was pressured. Ken Woodard was on the blitz, and just as Montana released it, Woodard popped him.
Somehow the 49ers they're going to have to get their tight end into this game.
Well, that's a good point. We haven't had a call on Francis all evening, have we?
Yeah, they're doing a job on these outside receivers, and somehow this tight end is going to have to get open.
25 seconds now. Third and 10. Roger Craig. Decision time again as Craig is held just short of a first down. Andre Townsend made the stop. And it will be fourth down and about a yard. And for Bill Walsh, another decision. It wasn't that long ago, just a few minutes ago, that they failed on a fourth and short to get it into the end zone. This time we will see Wershing, the field goal kicker.
Ball is 3-yard line. Fourth down.
Well, I'm surprised this time after they didn't do it the last time. The last time, I think I would have given Craig the ball 4 times in a row. Obviously, in kicking it this time, he's opened himself up for a lot of criticism, because if they lose this game by less than 3 points, they're going to say he should have kicked it the last time.
Well, I guess we can remember that Matt Cavanaugh is the holder. But I think that Bill Walsh, with 17 seconds remaining, would much prefer to go in with a 14-6 game than he would a 14-3 game, and having failed twice on a fourth down and about a yard.
Yeah, well, if they did run the football and got the first down, they wouldn't have enough time left to run another play anyway. So I think he's doing the right thing, personally, going for the 3 points.
Wershing, it'll be a 20-yard chip shot. Well, I don't believe that was a fake. And I don't know what you do about a snowball hitting your holder just as he tries to place the ball down.
That's also very dangerous, unsportsmanlike and dangerous.
It does not reflect well on the fans here at Mile High Stadium. Cavanaugh, looking at bouncing snowballs all around him, tried to get the ball desperately to Russ Francis. It's incomplete, and the Broncos take over with 11 seconds remaining. Oh, you hate to see that. The actions of 1, 2, 3 or 4 fans casting all kinds of shadows on so many. There's the snowball I spoke of. Had to be distracting. First down, Denver. What a frustrating first half for the 49ers. Elway just drops. And the 49ers can do nothing about it. They have no more timeouts. Bill Walsh will talk it over at halftime. We'll be back with our halftime activities after this from our stations. At the Orange Bowl in Miami yesterday, the Dolphins were in danger of disappearing in the AFC East. The high-flying New York Jets were in town, and the Dolphins welcomed back Mark Duper, out for 7 weeks with a hairline fracture of the leg, and it did not take Dan Marino long. Second quarter action, the Jets leading 3-0. Marino looking for number 85. Duper is there, 60-yard touchdown, and Miami took the lead 7-3. Third quarter action. One mark will help the other mark. Marino once again looking over the middle. This time it's Mark Clayton, a 27-yard touchdown. It was Clayton's first touchdown since the second game of the season, and it put Miami out on top 14-3. Then in the third quarter, Kenny O'Brien, the Jets quarterback, battling back. Looking downfield, nothing happening there, checks off to Freeman McNeil. And McNeil takes it in for a 14-yard touchdown. McNeil, the league-leading rusher, also had another 100-yard day. Now in the fourth quarter, with Miami leading 14-10, it's O'Brien once again. He looks over the middle to the big tight end, number 89, Rocky Cleaver. 20-yard touchdown, and the Jets take the lead 17-14. But that's not enough. 49 seconds remaining. Dan Marino is back. He changes off the line of scrimmage. Single coverage against Duper. Bobby Jackson is trying to cover him one-on-one. Duper roars by him. 50-yard touchdown pass. Miami wins at 21-17. They stay one game back in the AFC East behind the Jets and New England. At Giant Stadium yesterday, second quarter action. The Rams were in town. Both two strong defensive teams, but the Rams had a 13-0 lead with 27 seconds left in the first half. They looked as if they were going to blow the Giants out. Phil Simms in trouble, rolls to the right. Look for Bobby Johnson. He's there over the middle. And a 36-yard touchdown. The Rams 13-7 at the half, and the Giants were back in it. In the fourth quarter, with the Giants leading the Rams 24-16, Jeff Kemp will look to the corner for Bobby Duckworth. Bobby Duckworth is being defended by Kenny Hill. Kenny Hill forces Duckworth's second foot out of bounds. A controversial ruling, an incomplete pass. The Giants beat the Rams 24-19 to stay tied with Dallas in the NFC East. And a week from tonight, we'll be in the nation's capital, the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. The Redskins will be battling for their divisional life. Ray Berry has the New England Patriots flying high in the AFC Eastern Division. Yesterday, they entertained Indianapolis. In the second quarter, Steve Grogan, quarterback for New England. Indianapolis leading 6-0. Grogan is back with a lot of time. Looks into the end zone for Stanley Morgan. Morgan is there, a 19-yard touchdown, and New England was on top 7-6. In the third quarter, with New England leading 17-6. This is Irving Fryer, the former Nebraska Cornhusker, fields the punt at his own 23-yard line, takes it into the end zone 77 yards later. That gave New England a 24-6 lead. They went on to defeat Indianapolis 34-15. The Patriots have now won 5 straight games for the first time since 1980. The speedster is back there, number 82, along with Gene Lang, number 33. The Broncos leading the 49ers 14-3. Wershing will put it in play. And Gene Lang will stay in the end zone, and the Broncos will have it at their 20. Early in the second quarter, because we did not have facilities with electrical problem, we could not bring you this replay of a second down goal to go in the 49ers. The pass was to Earl Cooper, if you recall. And we could not replay it, but it was a good call. Earl Cooper will come down with the ball in the back of the end zone. And as you can see, he will be juggling the ball, never having possession, all the way, and takes it out of bounds. We recorded that in New York, fed it to Denver. Because of our technical problem at the time, we could not bring it to you. First down and 10, the Broncos at their 20-yard line. Elway, Vance Johnson, and the speedy rookie tailback from Arizona with an 8-yard pickup. Out close to the 28-yard line. Vance Johnson is not big. He's 5'11", 174 pounds, but he does have great speed and literally an all-purpose back at Arizona. I mentioned earlier he was an all Pac-10 tailback. back in 1982 as a sophomore. The Broncos, because of his size, have moved him to wide receiver. On second down and 2, Winder gets about a yard out of it. It'll be third down and short for the Broncos as we look at the first quarter numbers. And fairly close. Denver, however, really took charge defensively. They were especially impressive when the 49ers had a first down goal to go inside the 5-yard line, and they held them for 4 downs. For the 49ers, only 59 yards passing. O.J. touched on it earlier. Last year in their 15-1 season, they were an explosive first quarter and first half team. Such has not been the case this year. Third down, less than a yard. Winder, first down out over the 30-yard line to the 32. Sammy Winder doing all the rough work for the Broncos tonight, as he did a year ago when he went for over 1,150 yards. Missed all of the preseason with an emergency appendectomy, but has come on strong. Leading rusher for the Broncos into tonight, but they utilize 4 backs, perhaps more running backs than any other team in football. They bring them all in there. Will Height, Lang, Sewell, the rookie from Oklahoma. First down, Denver. Elway rifles the pass that Watson can't handle. Defensive coverage there by Eric Wright. Oh, he had something on that one.
He had a lot of heat on that one, and Eric Wright did a terrific job staying with the receiver and breaking up that pass. Steve Watson tries to fight away from him and break to the outside, but Wright stays right with him. Look at that. I don't think Eric Wright is concerned with Watson getting deep. Nice defensive play.
Hard-hitting game, extremely well played tonight. We've had 1 penalty flag. That's truly remarkable. Here we are in the third quarter, just underway. The Broncos leading the 49ers 14-3. Second down and 10, Denver. Elway tried to get it out to the wide receiver. Vance Johnson unable to come down, and he was shaken up.
I'll tell you, this 49er defensive line must have got a tongue lashing at halftime, because on these 2 past plays, it's the first time all night that they put some pressure on Elway.
And it was Todd Shell and Dwight Hicks out there to hammer the intended receiver, Vance Johnson.
Well, they certainly, speaking of San Francisco defense, they certainly don't look as good as they were last year when they beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl.
Butch Johnson is split to the left as wide receiver. There are 4 of them in there now. Third down and 10. Elway under pressure again. He has to throw it out of the way. And Elway is decked by Dwayne Board just as he releases it. 3 times now. Here in the third quarter, Elway has been pressured.
And well, that time Jeff Fuller came with a safety blitz from the outside. Elway knew exactly where he had to go with the football, but he was forced to throw it too early.
The 49ers have not been returning punts well this year, and they have one of the great ones in the game. It's the Dana McLemore. Chris Norman to punt for Denver. Norman catches a beauty, hangs it high. McLemore had to call for the fair catch and covers at the 32-yard line. Not a lot of distance on that, but Norman will get close to his league-leading net. That one nets out at 36 yards. The 49ers will have their first possession here in the second half when we come back. On a chilly 20-degree evening here in Denver, Colorado, hard-hitting football game, the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos outplaying the 49ers, particularly on defense in the first half. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. John Elway opened the scoring with a shot to Gene Lang from 3 yards out. He had picked up a critical first down on a pass to Steve Watson. Then it was Ray Wershing who hit the field goal from in close at 26 yards, and then John Elway hit Steve Watson from 6 yards out to put the Broncos on top 14-3. But the 49ers went on 4th and goal to go at the 1. They were held short of that, and that really has stoked up this Denver Bronco defense. 49ers, they have a first down and 10, the ball at their own 32-yard line. 12:39 remaining in the third quarter. Play action. Montana puts it up. It's Mike Wilson. And Wilson holds on to it down at the 21-yard line. Wilson was wide open. He had got inside of Mike Harden. Montana just laid it up, and Wilson ran under it.
Right, he got inside of Mike Harden and left of Tony Hill. He split Tony Hill and Mike Harden with a simple go pattern. Nice play action pace by Montana, and he just threw a beautiful pass here. What trajectory. Dropped it right off the top.
And if there's any weakness in Joe Montana's game, it is throwing this particular pass. He does not throw it up that
Wilson's
well.
fourth reception of the year gives the 49ers a first down at the 29-yard line. And Craig pounds inside the 20-yard line. He'll get about 6 out of that. It'll bring up a second down and 4, and we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations all along the line to identify themselves.
WKRC-TV, Channel 12, Cincinnati.
The 49ers dearly would love to put something on the board in this opening possession here in the second half. They trail 14-3. Roger Craig. A lot of room on the outside. Good defensive effort over on the left side. Denver Broncos have been playing superb defense, but Roger Craig was able to get outside. Dennis Smith stopping him, but Craig gets the first down.
So far this half, the way the 49ers have played on defense and now on offense, Joe, I don't think we would want Jessica Grace or Sidney Brook to have heard, rather, what Bill Walsh said to these guys.
You've been in there, O.J. You played for Bill Walsh in '79. What happened in there?
I'm glad my daughter, Joe's daughter, wasn't around to hear it.
That's not what I asked. On 1st and 10. Montana, a shot. It's Wilson. Touchdown, Mike Wilson. A few moments ago, he caught only his 4th pass of the season. This is his 5th of the season. And he puts the 49ers well back in it on their first possession here in the second half. And let's look again. A good shot by Montana.
Beautifully timed pass play as well, and Montana sticks it right in there where he has to.
Tom Jackson is 57. Tom Lilly is 22. Montana and Wilson timed it out beautifully. They had it right between them. Wershing for the conversion. And now, a different football game. The 49ers have 10 on the board. They trail by 4. And there is Mike Wilson. Would start for a lot of teams as an outside receiver. I'd like to wish one of our good old boys, our cameraman Steve Nikifor, is home ill and is home in Long Island, New York. All of us send him our very best, and we want to get him back very quickly. Great bunch of guys that travel week by week to bring you these games. Steve, of course, one of them, and we miss him. We know we'll have him back soon. Wershing the kickoff. Vance Johnson is deep along with Gene Lang. Here's Gene Lang. Good running by Lang. He broke the tackle at the 17-yard line and gets out close to the 25. There'll be some hitting going on next week down in the nation's capital when we bring you the Giants and the Redskins. The Giants and the Cowboys tied on top of the Eastern Division of the NFC, the Washington Redskins. They are desperately going to try and get back in it. Washington is 5-5, having lost to Dallas yesterday. Philadelphia is 5-5. The Giants are 7-3, and Dallas is 7-3. Once again, these Broncos with a win tonight will take sole possession of first place in the AFC Western Division. 1st and 10. Denver near their own 25. Elway puts one up. A lot of bumping and pushing. That was picked off by Dwight Hicks. And then it goes into the arms of Ronnie Lott. Vance Johnson was being covered by Dwight Hicks. He got the ball away from Vance Johnson, bounced out of his arms into the arms of Ronnie Lott, and the 49ers get another turnover.
What really makes this interception happen is right here, the defensive pressure. They get back to John Elway, and he can't get enough on the football. You see, he underthrows this ball severely. Johnson should have caught the football right there, but Ronnie Lott makes a nice rebound catch and a good run back.
Lott brings it all the way back to the 40-yard line of Denver. New line for the 49ers. They struggled in the first half. That's Derek Harmon on the move, and this is Roger Craig. Craig turns the corner, and can he accelerate? He picks up 9, gets down to the 31-yard line. There's Ronnie Lott. one of the best in the business at the corner, but they're playing the lot at safety. He got that interception from the safety position. And this is what Joe Namath was talking about. Watch Michael Carter just tossing aside Bill Bryan, the center, number 64, and banging in to Winder, and gets right in the face of Elway. And from such plays by the line are interceptions made. 2nd and 1. Harmon inside. And Harmon, who made a terrific block a moment ago for Roger Craig on a 9-yard run, gets him down to the 21-yard line. Plenty of first down yardage. Harmon, starting tonight for an injured Wendell Tyler, out with a very sore knee and ankle. Pair of tight ends now for the 49ers, John Frank and Russ Francis. The wide receivers are Wilson, 85, and Fred Solomon. The draw to Roger Craig. And Craig to the 15-yard line. Different football team, O.J.
Totally
Tell
different.
us what he said at halftime. You've been in there.
Yeah, look at that graphic right there. Well, that's part of it. I tell you one thing. Bill Walsh normally will deal with his team with humor and logic. Now, it's rare that his players will ever see him mad. Now, when he went for the touchdown on 4th down, I knew he was mad. When he didn't get it, I knew he was furious. And I think for one of the few times the team saw him furious in the locker room.
It's like dealing with a mule. When logic doesn't work, hit him in the head. 2nd and 4. Craig breaks the tackle. Inside the 10. He'll have first down yardage again. It'll be first down. Goal to go for the 49ers. Carl Mecklenburg defensively as tempers flare just briefly on the field.
Hey, Craig picks his legs up, kicks those knees up higher than anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, they say churning. You know, every team during training camp, you work on the ropes. And you run through these ropes, and the whole purpose of that is to try to get that high knee action so when you're running through traffic, you don't trip over arms and legs. And evidently, in his career, he's spent a lot of time running through ropes.
Well, it's certainly paying off.
First down, goal to go. Craig at 97 yards on the night. Good cutback by Craig. There was nothing at all to the outside. He would have lost yardage. He breaks it to the inside. He'll get 3 yards down to the 5-yard line.
And the difference between that run and the whole first half is that the 49ers won the battle at the line of scrimmage and gave Craig the option to cut back and get a few yards.
Craig is so consistent. He is, of course, the leader from the line of scrimmage in the NFL through 9 games, but that's only the 2nd time now Craig has gone over 100 yards in his career or has reached 100 yards. His 2nd down, goal to go. That's Francis, 81, on the move. Montana tried to slide it into Dwight Clark. The defensive play was made by Mark Harden, who was all over Dwight Clark. And in years gone by, would that have been pass interference?
Yeah, I think so. Harden did a heck of a job. Clark fights to the inside. It's a well-thrown pass, but Harden jumps all over him right here, and that should have been interference. He hit him before the ball got there.
That might have been pass interference yesterday. You got to play him tight down there. And Harden really played him tight. Earlier in the 2nd quarter, the 49ers had a first down, goal to go inside the 5, and they were held on 4 consecutive downs. This is 3rd down, goal to go. Derek Harmon. He'll lose about a yard. It'll be 4th down. Tony Lilly came up from the free safety. Tony Lilly, who has performed so well for a missing Steve Foley over the past few weeks. He made the stop, and out comes the field goal unit for the 49ers. Wersching was already hit tonight from 26 yards out. A snowball perhaps interfered with another attempt from in close. He is also now the all-time 49er scoring leader. Wersching slides, falls, and the 49ers this time do not go on their 4th down, but they close the game to within 1 point with 7:28 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. The 49ers now have been inside the 10-yard line 4 times. They have been able to put on the scoreboard only 6 points. Again, there'll be a long, hard look at the films this week. And credit a strong performance by Joe Collier's defensive unit. They have been superb, deep in their own territory. 49ers, onside kick, And first it was Cooper, but the 49ers have it back. Who's at the bottom of the pile? A flag is down, however.
The 49ers grabbed the ball before it went 10 yards. I believe it may have been Dana McLemore.
Well, I don't know that that's such a good call. It seemed the momentum of this game has shifted over to San Francisco's side. Now, why give the momentum back to Denver?
Dana McLemore came up with the ball. It was Cooper who touched it first. And he had to travel 10 before he could touch it.
There are 2 fouls. Illegally touching with a kick by the kicking team and offside by the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
And they will re-kick because they did come down with it. Dana McLemore had the possession. Cooper touched it early, but it did not matter because the 49ers were offsides. And I'll tell you, that is a funny kind of a call, because if it does not work, you give Denver all kinds of opportunity right at midfield.
That's right. You take away the momentum that you built in this second half.
Hey, you know, sometime a game will reach the point where, like a fight, it's a street fight. And I think Bill Walsh saying, okay, you want to play? You want to play rough? Well, let's just go and play some football. They're doing everything out here tonight.
Yeah, but Bill doesn't have to get out on the field, you see.
Well, he's going to get the heat when it's over.
What that graphic leaves out are 2 Super Bowl champions after the '81 season. And, of course, this past year in Super Bowl 19 over Miami. 5-yard penalty, and Wershing will put the ball in play from the 30-yard line. And Vance Johnson and Gene Lang move up to their 5-yard line. Vance Johnson, the speedster. Johnson with a fine return out to the 34-yard line. Freddie Solomon working on the special teams for the 49ers made the stop. And in the days of the 49-man roster, Solomon would not have been out there.
And Freddie's having a bad year this year. He's not caught very many balls. I don't think he scored yet this season at all.
I'll tell you an interesting thing about Freddie Solomon. I've watched the 49ers on 3 occasions, and I bet at least 4 times Freddie at a key point of the game had his man beat for a touchdown, and Joe just did not get the football to him.
That's Carl Mecklenburg. He has a cut over the eye. We'll get a report on that, but I would kind of give you a bet he'll be back in there, and very shortly. He's a tough dude, Mecklenburg. He started tonight. Dan Reeves saying, well, we just can't keep him out of there anymore. He'd been filling in at all the linebacker positions, and as a down lineman, he started tonight. Broncos, 1st and 10. The ball at their own 34-yard line. Elway. This is Sampson. Spins back inside. Gets 2, maybe 3, out to the 37-yard line before he's upended by Keena Turner.
From an ego point of view, when you try to throw a hitch pass on a cornerbacks, Joe, I think, take that personally.
They sure do.
They really do. And I know the first time they ran it, Dwight Hicks came up and really tried to lay it on, at the time, Vance Johnson.
2nd down, 7. Away again. And Vance Johnson comes down with it. He'll have the 1st down just shy of the 45-yard line. And again, it's Dwight Hicks. Ordinarily, a free safety. O.J. talked about it in the first half. He's working on the corner. That's not where he's been working in the past. Ronnie Lotta's been moved over to safety.
Yeah, well, you know, as a quarterback, I believe in taking it, or next quarterback anyway, taking advantage of these matchups. That's what football's about. You try and get your best people on their people that can't cover. And right now, as we've been saying, he's a free safety. What's he doing at the corner?
Well, you know they're going to run a hitch and go on him before this game is over.
Dwight Hicks is still off about 10 yards of Vance Johnson. Elway under pressure. Elway tries to get it to Vance Johnson, who came back to give him a target. Elway broke the tackle of John Hardy. Good athlete. Saves the sack. It'll be 2nd down and 10. This is what I meant a moment ago. Hicks is a good 11 yards off.
Yes, but he's going to roll up into a zone coverage, and this is what fooled John Elway this last time, because John couldn't find a receiver. They helped Hicks with deep support on the inside.
Yeah, this game is a game of moves and counter moves, and I think what they were trying to do is hope they would throw the hitch pass on that play, and Hicks would have been in the end zone going the other way.
2nd and 10. The blitz is coming. And Elway eases out of the pocket. look back to Sammy Winder, and he is unable to hold on to it at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Keena Turner was defensing Sammy Winder. They continue to work on Mecklenburg on the sidelines. And unless that cut is where the harness of the headgear will be rubbing on it constantly, we would suspect that Mecklenburg will be back.
Well, the momentum of this game certainly has changed, and this is a very big play for Denver. If they don't get the first down this time, they give the ball back to San Francisco, and San Francisco is wound up.
Watson and Sampson are split to the right. Vance Johnson is in the slot to the left. Elway has a wide open field. And Elway is hit again as he went out of bounds by Keena Turner, but he has a first down yardage.
I thought he was hit a little late that time.
Yeah, I would say on that play he was hit out of bounds, and it should have been a flag.
Elway had a wide open field, and he just spotted the first down marker. Got a bit of a block from Steve Watson, but it did give him enough area to get the first down. And Keena Turner made a good play on it. And you sort of sense that he had, because that happened right in front of the Bronco bench. Had it been a little out of line, Keena Turner might have got some action from the players on the sideline. 5:31 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 1-point ball game. The Broncos over the 49ers 14-3. The first down is near the 44-yard line of the 49ers. Sammy Winder, and he turns right into Ronnie Lott. And he's down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Once again, college football coming your way this weekend. What a big one we have for you. It'll begin at 3 o'clock Eastern time with college football today. But undefeated and #1 ranked Penn State will take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And that should be a beauty. Will Paterno, the Nittany Lions on top once again. Some parts of the country will watch Auburn against Georgia, so check the listing for the game in your area. Penn State looking for a national championship. 2nd and 9. Elway with a lot of time. Fires a shot, and he fires it complete. It goes to the tight end, Clarence Kay. He's a great blocker. He has sure hands, and when Elway goes to the tight end, Joe, you better have sure hands, because he put something on it.
He has a lot of heat on his passes. Clarence Kay from Seneca, South Carolina, was an outstanding blocker in college. He didn't catch many passes at Georgia, but he shows he has good hands right here.
First reception of the night, his 15th of the season. They think he is one of the best blocking tight ends in football. And he gives Denver a first down to the 27-yard line. Wilhite is in there at setback now for the Broncos, number 47. Here comes the blitz. Elway gets it crossed up with the rookie Vance Johnson, and I think the way you saw Vance Johnson grab his head, you knew who was responsible.
That is exactly right.
They both should have read it, Joe. You know that. The blitz was on. He should have been applied.
Right. He ran about 10 yards, and then he hesitated and stopped, and John didn't read it. I'm sure John wasn't expecting that. And you might have to point the finger at the rookie in that case.
2nd down and 10. 4:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Broncos at the 27-yard line of the 49ers. Gene Lang to the 10-yard line. Superb call. 2nd and long yardage. The draw play. And Lang makes the most of it.
And watch Keith Bishop and Billy Bryan, the center and left guard. They do a good job of blocking here and opening up that hole.
The blitz was on. And when you can pop a draw against the blitz, you'll get big yardage, and Lang did. It'll be first down, goal to go. Denver inside the 10. Out to the left goes Watson. Vance Johnson goes to the right. Wilhite. And Gerald Wilhite inside the 5 to the 3 before he's upended by Keena Turner.
Well, Dwayne Boyd almost made an excellent play on that play. He got his hand on Wilhite, but Wilhite did a good job of shaking him off. And one thing a great back will do for you, when he gets down near the goal line. He'll turn upfield and get as many yards as he can, and Will Height covered the ball up and got about 4 or 5 yards instead of just worrying about running out of bounds.
Super football game. The 49ers were on the ropes in the first half. They came back to close it to within 1 point. Now Denver is coming back. They are threatening. Second down, goal to go. 3 tight ends are in. That's one of them on the move, Mike Barber. Will Height upended. Depending upon where they mark it, it will be between the 2 and the 3. Michael Carter, who's playing a super football game for the Niners tonight, is at the bottom of that pile, and he's slow getting up.
They're using Jim Farnhorst in their linebacker, too, this second half, San Francisco is, and he came in hard from the outside that time and helped break up that play.
They also got Manu Tuiasosopo in there, and he's a little quicker than Carter, not as strong, and he's been getting some pretty decent penetration up the middle. He's number 78.
Third down, goal to go. Will Height again. They will not give it to him. It'll be 4th down and inches. So now, decision time for head coach Dan Reeves. And they'll go for it. Not even a moment of hesitation.
Yeah. As I said, this is a street fight now. They're talking about each other's parents and everything at this point.
They also believe that if they don't make it, their defense is going to hold the 49ers from the 1-foot line. Get the ball back in good field position and have another opportunity to score.
75,000 plus, and they're on their feet here at Mile High Stadium. 4th down, goal to go. 13th play of this drive. It started at the Broncos' 34-yard line. I don't believe he made it. No, they'll mark it inside the 1, but now the 49ers have held. Broncos had a first down, goal to go inside the 10.
Well, now it seems as if we're looking at 2 teams that were, one was 13-3 and the other one was 15-1 last year, and it appears to be that type of game right now.
It has been back and forth, and it's a 1-point ball game with 1:03 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back at Mile High Stadium in a moment. Their feet and chanting defense. Montana fires from the end zone, hanging it up for Rice. And Rice and Harden collided. There are no flags.
Yeah, but I like the idea of throwing the football back here. As long as he has protection, they don't get the holding penalty in the end zone for the safety. He had a chance for the 99-yarder here.
If they don't bump, I think Rice probably would have got it. He does not have exceptional speed. He has good speed, and Montana had it there.
Montana may come right back with about a 15-yard out pattern to this side.
Second down and 9. Roger Craig, and he drops the ball, incomplete. Ken Woodard was offering the coverage out there. Let's go back. This is 4th down, less than a yard to go. The Broncos in possession. Dan Reeves saying to Bill Walsh, I'll go. Also on 4th down, Sammy Winder, as you see from the reverse angle, is hit by Ronnie Lott first and held short of the touchdown. So now, each team has been held out of the end zone on 4th down and short after having a first down and goal to go inside the 10. 3rd down and 10. Wilson has split left. There are 2 tight ends in. Roger Craig. He knew he had to get it out of the end zone to avoid the 2 points. And now the pressure will fall on the punting unit. Max Runninger, who in the first quarter had a difficult time with a 1-yard effort. And he has to be very careful he does not stand out of the back of that end zone. A bad snap could force him out of the end zone and would have a safety. As it is, he'll have to punt more quickly than he ordinarily would because he cannot take his full drop on a spread punt. As you can see, the 49ers do not have anyone on the outside. But Runninger gets off a great kick. Vance Johnson from his 48-yard line. And the tackle at the 45-yard line on a 49-yard punt under pressure by Max Runninger. Ron Ferrari down there to make the stop. So the Broncos will have good field position once again. It's the Denver Broncos. They are 6-3. A win tonight, and they will take over sole possession of first place. in the AFC East Western Division. San Francisco 49ers, they're 5-4. They're chasing the Los Angeles Rams in their Western Division of the NFC. It's been a seesaw game in terms of momentum. The Broncos having most of it through the first half, and the 49ers roared out in the third quarter. And right now we have a 14-13 game with the Broncos, the first and 10 at the 49ers 45-yard line. Elway back. Again, a lot of time. Got a wide open receiver, Vance Johnson. Elway put the pressure on the cornerback, the zone coverage. The underneath man had to come up and play the run. Vance Johnson came back. He gets the first down near the 31-yard line, and that's the end of the third quarter. So Broncos 14, the 49ers 13. We'll be back after this from our stations. Hope you're enjoying tonight's game between the Denver Broncos and the San Francisco 49ers. It's been a beauty. 20-degree temperature here in Denver. A capacity crowd of 75,000 plus. They are really into it. Partisan Denver Bronco fans. 13-3 with the Broncos a year ago. The 49ers, defending Super Bowl champions with a 15-1 record. Playoff victories over the Giants, the Bears, and of course the stunning upset of the Miami Dolphins. Right now, as we begin the fourth quarter, the Broncos have the football. It's first down and 10. They're at the 31-yard line of the 49ers. And the Broncos lead it 14-13. Elway wants Watson. And Watson with good coverage by the cornerback, Eric Wright. Elway tried to squeeze it in there, but it was good coverage by Wright. It'll be second down and 10. Arguably the best defensive back of that secondary that all went to the Pro Bowl, all four of them. Eric Wright went to the Pro Bowl a year ago because the Giants, Mike Haynes, couldn't go because of an injury. At one point, Ronnie Lott said he wasn't going to go after he was elected if Eric Wright didn't go. As it turned out, they all went. Second and 10. Elway hit as he releases the ball. It was Dwayne Board coming all the way around and really popped Elway. It'll bring up third down and 10. But Board is injured, it appears. Very slow getting up.
Well, Board is one of the few defensive players on this 49er team that really never leaves the football field, and I just think he's a little tired right now.
It's been a brutal football game. It really has, in 20-degree temperature. We have been told that Sammy Winder will not return. A bruised right hip. 1,000-yard rusher of a year ago for the Broncos. Who had a good first half, and early into the third quarter was running well. Dave Stutter, the left tackle, is out of the lineup for the Broncos. Third and 10. It was Elway getting it to Watson one more time, and again, good coverage. It'll be fourth down. In Denver, can Carlos reach it? That's the question. His career best is 50 yards. This will be about a 47-yard effort. Very steady kicker. He is 18 of 27. Of his 9 misses, 4 were 50 yards or more. So they rely on him to put it up there about 50 yards. Last year in consecutive games against Seattle and Kansas City, he had a tie kicking effort, hit the crossbar. A lot of distance. But he hooks it left. And the 49ers will get the ball back at the line of scrimmage, the 31-yard line. Carlos misses from 47 yards out. We'll be back in just one moment. You earn it all in this game of pro football. That's Mecklenburg. Perhaps 8 or 10 minutes ago. He's back in the lineup, a big patch. I don't know how they'll avoid the helmet from coming down and ripping that open once again, but he's back in the lineup. First down and 10. The 49ers at their own 31-yard line. 14:40 remaining in the game. The 49ers trail by 1. Harmon, and he is pounded. Rulon Jones. What a hit. Rulon Jones working against Bubba Paris, number 77. Watch him.
And Denver is back to the 4-down lineman defensive front.
A loss of about a half a yard. Let's still call it second down and 10. Seesaw game emotionally. Earl Cooper took his eyes off that one. That could have turned into a 49er first down close to midfield.
Well, Earl Cooper has been in a little disfavor with Bill Walsh this year. They had a final drive against Detroit, a game that they could have won, and he had 2 drops on that final drive. And that's a ball he could have caught. And, of course, if you recall, a catch in the end zone, if he would have caught it cleanly, would have been a touchdown earlier in this game.
Third down, 10. You'll hear the crowd get into it. Stadium is rocking. Montana was hurried. It's incomplete. The attempt at Dwight Clark, and the 49ers will have to punt.
Very often say it that the defensive front doesn't have to tackle the quarterback with the ball as long as they can put pressure on him. Hurry him, make him throw the pass before he's ready, before his receiver's ready.
And look at Mecklenburg. He's in his face after seeing his own blood. I know if I saw my own blood, I may not have played as hard.
Runninger to punt. Vance Johnson is back for Denver. Not a good kick. High, does not turn over, and it takes a Denver bounce and immediately killed at the 41-yard line. But Denver now has it in good field position on a 29-yard effort from Max Runninger. A reminder, tonight on Nightline, veterans claim U.S. servicemen exposed to nuclear fallout have been forgotten by the government and charged that exposure caused cancer. That's tonight on Nightline, following your late local news and, of course, very timely here on Veterans Day. John Elway comes out. First down and 10, the Broncos.
I remember the one time I busted my head and was blood, and the trainer told me it wasn't too bad. I say, hey, you give me a mirror. You let me look at it.
Willite to set back. Sammy Winder will not be back tonight. A bruised right hip. Willite running well out over the 45-yard line. He'll get 4 out of it. It'll be second down and 6. Jim Fonhorst at linebacker was over there to make the stop. Brother of Keith Fonhorst, the offensive tackle, who had a little bit of a run-in with Bill Walsh last week when he didn't start against Philadelphia. They opened with Guy McIntyre. That upset Keith Fonhorst. He missed a day of practice. Those kinds of things happen when you're about 500 midway through the season. We're second down and 6. And the big tight end gets the first down inside the 45-yard line of the 49ers.
That was a terrific job by John Elway just getting the ball out to Clarence Kay. He really was off balance. That was quite a pass.
Mecklenburg on the sideline.
Those defensive players, Joe, they can bleed and hey, they don't even think about it.
I have never met a defensive player that was playing with a full deck.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, Frank played good defense.
I was going to point that out. Give us a half a deck at least. On first down, Elway rifles it out to the rookie, Vance Johnson.
I believe with a little better effort, Vance could have gotten a couple of more yards that time.
Johnson will get about 3 out of that. We'll bring up second down and 7. Good defensive effort over there on the left side by Eric Wright.
It's surprising that Eric was able to hold him to 4.5 yards because he was playing 10 yards off Johnson, and when the ball was snapped, he dropped back another 5 yards.
Vance ran out of bounds. That's what I couldn't figure.
Second down and 6. Willite to the 38-yard line. It'll be third down and 3. Hit there by Jim Stuckey. Elway thus far is 17 of 34, 193 yards, a couple of touchdowns, 1 interception. A typical Elway game and a typical Bronco game. They keep pounding, they keep hitting, and all of a sudden you get down to the final minutes, and so many times it's come down to overtime and the final couple plays of the game. That is, if you erase last week's loss 30-10 to the Chargers, who really are on the move in the AFC West. But a great defensive play. Eric Wright. They say with the 49ers that he's the best man-to-man defensive back on the team, and you saw a good example of it there. We saw it in the Super Bowl. This is absolutely brilliant. He had to catch Clint Sampson.
Well, one of the reasons you don't hear his name so much is that they just don't throw to his side. They rather try Ronnie Lott or Hicks or any of the other guys. They tend to stay away from Eric Wright.
Some people felt like he's having an off year since he only has 1 interception on the season. But watching him tonight, he sure looks like he's playing a good game to me.
Chris Norman is on to punt. Looking for the left sideline. And they walk it off, and Norman gets a beauty. They mark it close to the 3-yard line. 10:49 remaining in a hard-hitting football game. The 49ers and the Broncos. Key inter-conference game for both these ball clubs, and we'll be back with more action in a moment. Percentage game Montana has ever had. A few weeks ago against New Orleans, he passed for 46%. That was the previous low. And a few weeks before that, he destroyed Atlanta with 37 of 57 and 65% and 5 touchdowns. This is a very fickle game. From the 4-yard line, 1st and 10, 49ers. Wide open is Russ Francis. Francis sprawls out over the 25 to the 27 for a 49er first down. Was he ever open?
We were wondering earlier what happened to the 49er tight ends, huh, Joe?
That's right. Hadn't heard his name all night. He didn't catch a pass all night either.
Clock continues to move, heading down to 10 minutes here in the 4th period. 49ers desperately need this one to stay within 2 of the Los Angeles Rams in the Western Division of the NFC. Montana rushed again. Fires it and fires it complete. Short of first down yardage is Dwight Clark. It'll be 2nd down and 2. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Second and 2. 49ers near their own 37-yard line. Denver drops into a 4-down line front. And Roger Craig exploits it, drops the ball at the 45, and it's loose. And they're saying now that Roger Craig was down at the 45-yard line. It'll be another 49er first down.
Well, even if he wasn't, Mike Wilson was playing heads-up ball downfield, and it appeared as if he would have come up with the fumble.
Over the right side, good work by Randy Cross, Keith Farnhorst. Big opening, and coughing it up at the 45-yard line, but after he was down is Roger Craig.
You know, one thing I'm impressed with Joe Montana is the fact that he's only had 6 interceptions this entire season. Now, I know he's only completing 20-some% of his passes tonight, but he hasn't completed 1 for the Denver Broncos yet, so he's keeping this low interception rate intact.
Jinx, jinx, jinx.
Montana on first down. The blitz was on, and Jerry Rice was wide open, and he gets the completion. He's in Denver territory near the 42-yard line. A 12-yard pickup. Good blocking for Montana. And this is single coverage by Steve Wilson. He knows he's covering the rookie speedster. Man for man. He has no help whatsoever. He lays way off. Montana fires it in. They've marked it now just inside the 44-yard line. Rice now 3 receptions, 52 yards. First down pass again, and again intended for Rice. Louis Wright was the defender. And like his counterpart, Eric Wright, on the Broncos, they stay away from Louis Wright, and they've been doing it for 11 years. He's a great defensive cornerback.
Yeah, he's covered like he's really covered here, so Joe just simply does throw the ball away. But I would be throwing the other way towards Steve Wilson. Steve Wilson's not their regular starter. Mike Harden is, and Harden's not in the game. Why not throw at the second stringer or the backup guy?
Defensive backs are getting a major break in 1985.
Yeah, on that last play, he turned his head around, put his hand up, and ran into the receiver.
Not much they can't do anymore. I don't think, however, that ball was even catchable.
Freddie Solomon's in the game.
2nd and 10. Roger Craig. flag is down. One of the rare ones we've seen tonight as Craig saved a loss, gets to the outside and picks up a couple of yards. And the preliminary indication is that it will be against the 49ers and holding. Quiet night for Gene Tunney, or rather Jim Tunney and his crew. Only the second penalty of the night.
It's a tough penalty because even though it would have been third down, one medium completed pass, the 49ers would have been in field goal range. And, of course, all they need is a field goal to take the lead.
And this field position is going back and forth, back and forth. It's a good football game.
77, 10 yards. Still second down.
The lead blocker on the play over the left side, Bubba Paris. Down will remain the same. But the 49ers will be backed up to their own 47-yard line. This drive started at the 49ers' 3-yard line. And they have just suffered a major setback. Bill Walsh sends in 4 wide receivers. Solomon is in there with Jerry Rice, Mike Wilson, Dwight Clark.
Now let's see what Denver do to counteract that. I'd go with the 5-down linemen. The way my corners are covering, I think they probably couldn't get away with it.
2nd and 20. Once before, long yardage, 4 wide receivers. The 49ers came with the draw play to Roger Craig. This time they'll put it up. Should have been picked off by Louis Wright, and he knows it. They tried to squeeze it in. Did Joe Montana to Jerry Rice, and the 49ers were fortunate that ball was not intercepted.
Well, I don't know what Joe was looking at that time, but he certainly threw in the coverage. He got lucky. That should have been an interception.
3rd down and 20. Broncos have 6 defensive backs on the field. Tough to find the open receiver. They'll give you a bunch of it, but they won't give you 20 on 3rd down. Montana throws underneath. And Harmon is hit just as he catches the ball at the 45-yard line. Well short of a possible first down. Steve Foley is there defensively on this very first day after being activated only this afternoon. Foley missing much of the early going with a dislocated shoulder. Running her out once again for the 49ers. Gerald Wilhite is back for Denver. Fair catch called for by Wilhite, and a good move by Wilhite out of the 18-yard line. Denver gets it back with a 1-point lead with 7:16 remaining in the game. We'll be back at Mile High Stadium in Denver in just a moment. Back at Mile High Stadium, and we'll be in the nation's capital next Monday night for the Redskins and the New York Giants. Meanwhile, we have a beauty going on here in Denver. The Broncos with a 1-point lead, 7:16 remaining in the game, have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 19-yard line. Wilhite, with Sammy Winder injured, remains as the setback for the Broncos. Draw play, Wilhite. And he just explodes out over the 25-yard line near the 26 for a gain of almost 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Coming into tonight, Wilhite had only carried the ball 21 times as Winder had done most of the work through the first half of the season. Only had 79 yards into tonight's game, did Gerald Wilhite. 2nd down, a long 3, and they are going to attend to James Wright, the big tight end, being helped off the field. And we're set to go. Elway, 17 of 35, 193 yards, a couple of touchdowns, 1 interception. But he has made the big plays when he's had to make them. Wilhite hit at the line of scrimmage and just squirms for about a yard and a half. Short of the first down, it'll be 3rd down and a long 1 in the arms of Michael Walter.
Well, you can tell by those last two runs that if Will Height was given the opportunity to run the ball more often, he would be a very effective runner. He was, obviously, before Sammy Winder came here, but normally they'll put him in the game doing passing situations, and that's why he hasn't carried the ball that much.
Will Height was a former first-round draft pick back in '82. Winder was a fifth-round draft pick in '82 also. They did well in the '82 draft. 3rd down and 1. Elway had to hurry, tried to get it to Mike Barber. Todd Shell was pressuring him, and down he went just as he delivered the ball. And the 49ers will get it back.
I don't believe that. I thought Barber got knocked to the ground that time. It looked like pass interference to me. That was a great defensive effort by the San Francisco 49ers. What that just accomplished, I think it's going to give them good field position here. And time is winding down. We only have 5:41 left. Now, we're not going to get a look at Barber.
That's Todd Shell, number 90.
But there, he's on the ground. What is this?
It was Elway just having to throw it. Norman to punt. Dana McLemore was at the 49ers 30-yard line. He'll have to settle back to the 25. Turns it inside, gets out to the 37-yard line. So the 49ers, with 5:30 remaining in the game and trailing by 1, have good field position. That was a 47-yard punt by Chris Norman. The final word to Mr. Cool, Joe Montana.
Well, this is normally we're getting down to showtime for the 49ers. The difference between this year's team and previous teams is at this time in the game, this is when the 49ers were at their best. They just wanted the ball last. They thought they could win. They've made crucial mistakes this year on final drives that has cost them football games.
5:30 remaining. Plenty of time. Montana checks off to Roger Craig. Roger Craig breaks the tackle. And he'll have a first down near midfield. Ken Woodard was right out there with him. He had great position on Roger Craig. And Roger Craig is just one exceptional football player. He pulls right out of the arms of Ken Woodard.
Well, Joe Montana's a little late. He wanted to go to Freddie Solomon, who was open on a slant pattern. He went to Roger Craig, and once again, here's a guy that spends a lot of time working on his leg motion, and he does an excellent job of breaking the tackle and getting upfield.
Roger Craig is not hurting himself in his NFL leading yards from scrimmage tonight. He has 128 yards receiving and rushing. On first down. Montana. Rice is wide open. And the rookie first-round pick out of Mississippi Valley State will have another 49er first down at the 33-yard line. The 49ers are on the move. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
WKRC-TV, Channel 12, Cincinnati.
We hope you've been with us, but if you have not, an important game for the 49ers, 5-4 in the Western Division of the NFC. A key game for Denver, 6-3. They can take sole possession of the lead in the Western Division of the AFC. With 5:16 remaining, the 49ers trail by 1 point in a seesaw game. It is 14-13 Denver. Roger Craig works the middle. Squeezes out a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8 at the 32-yard line.
Boy, in this day and age of high-scoring football games, the score's 14-13, and it's been one of the more wide-open, exciting football games I've seen in quite a while.
It sure has, but still a defensive struggle. That's what the Broncos are used to. Roger Craig, look at the night he's having again. Huh?
This guy will be the first NFL back, I think, this year to go over 100,000 yards, rather rushing and receiving.
But a Super Bowl game we watched him have, Roger Craig. 49ers, 2nd down and 8. Montana looking to Mike Wilson.
He should have been
underneath
looking for...
was Russ Francis wide open.
Jumping up and down.
He should have been looking for Russ Francis.
Russ will get a complex. Let's just watch him. Nobody bumped him off the line of scrimmage. He just cruised down there wide open. Not anyone even near him.
Yeah, they've just been ignoring the tight end all night.
3rd down and 8. Montana, 14 of 36. 218 yards, 1 touchdown. Dwight Clark, and he slips and goes down short of the first down. He's at the 27-yard line, about 4 yards short of the first down. It was Steve Wilson who hit Dwight Clark, who slipped and went down.
I tell you, though, that's a big 5 yard for Ray Wershing. That's a real big 5 yards for him tonight.
Wershing has hit earlier tonight from 26 yards out and from 22 yards out. He is not having a Ray Wershing year.
The difference between a 45-yard field goal and a 50-yard or 51-yarder.
From 45 yards. Spanked well. And the 49ers, for the first time tonight, have taken the lead.
Look at that bench. They're all coming out on the field.
Let me tell you, if that ball was from 50 yards, it wouldn't have made it.
There is affection. They know that Wershing has been struggling somewhat this year.
I hope they know this game isn't over.
3:46 remaining. So many times over the years, we've been involved in games with the Broncos where it always comes down to the wire. Here it is again. Cavanaugh with the perfect hole. Earlier, if you were with us, you saw Cavanaugh on a 22-yard attempt. Almost hit with a snowball. It splashed right in front of him, bobbled the ball, and they missed an opportunity from 3 points, or 3 points from inside the 10-yard line.
Well, the 49ers must be proud of their defense. They've shut out this Denver team in the second half, and it's down to 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Can they continue to play the ball they played since they've come out at halftime?
Perhaps it goes back to what we talked about in the third quarter. Bill Walsh at halftime. George Seifert, the defensive coordinator, had to be a little chewing out going on in there. Appealing to pride, whatever it might be. The 49ers came out a different football team in the third quarter.
Sure have.
You know, being an ex-quarterback, I was never one to really get tired. I'm just wondering with this high altitude if it's going to affect these 49ers here late in the game. Conditioning-wise.
Wershing hits it. Here's Gene Lang. Good run back by Gene Lang. The 31-yard line, hit there by Derek Harmon, who has seen a lot of action, replacing an injured Wendell Tyler. You take a Wendell Tyler out of this lineup, then you have lost a great deal. Tyler set a 49er rushing record a year ago with over 1,200 yards. He's unable to go tonight because of a knee and ankle problem. There's Dan Reeves in his 5th year after coming here 1980. First down, Denver. For the first time tonight, they trail. They trail by 2. Draw play. It's Will Height. He'll get a yard. One would have to suspect that Danny Reeves wanted to come early with the draw, keep that defensive line honest, make them think somewhat about the run as we look at Roger Craig on the sideline.
Certainly Mr. 49er in 1985. Joe, do you think they're in a 4-down situation now? I mean, the clock is running down. There's almost just 3 minutes to go in the game. Do you think they'll give the 49ers the ball again?
I'd have to wait until after this series, but I believe you got a point there. This is a 4-down situation. They're getting mighty close to it.
There was movement, and it could have been Denver.
Yeah, Juice, we're down to
49ers moved in unison.
one thing in the 49ers' favor now. They have some fresh people in. You mentioned Gary Johnson and Fred Dean earlier. Well, they're in the game now. They are fresh. They have their pass defense unit in there.
Hey, this penalty hurts. Denver will be backed up 5. Illegal movement.
I still must believe no matter what the down and distance is on 4th down, Denver will not give up the ball again.
Keith Bishop over the left guard, moving early. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
Well, they have 3 timeouts left in the 2-minute warning, so again, we'll have to see what happens here.
Rookie Steve Sewell from Oklahoma, number 30. He's in the backfield for the Broncos. Good receiver, Sewell. He's in there with Gerald Wilhite, also a good receiver. Elway, a lot of time, tried to get it to Sewell. Threw it low, it's incomplete. There was good coverage. Jeff Fuller in that prevent defense of the 49ers was there. It'll be only third down 13.
Well, we won't have to speculate much longer.
I really don't think they'll go for it if this is an incomplete
Yeah.
pass with this much
Maybe
time left and 3 timeouts and 2-minute warning. I think they punt the ball at this stage.
No chance unless they get it up really close. Third and 13. Elway gets out of the traffic. Looking deep for Watson. And Dwight Hicks was being fooled by Watson. A flag now goes down. Steve Watson tried to work back very casually. Dwight Hicks did not even know the ball was coming, and he ran right into Watson. Now take a look at this. Watson plays this really cool. Elway now is back in the traffic, getting in trouble. Now Watson just casually, he'll look over his shoulder. Now he knows the ball right here is coming. And he just fools Hicks. Now he tries to play back into it, and he draws the penalty.
I didn't see much of the penalty.
I still didn't see the penalty. I still don't see it. He didn't have his hands up.
And Watson wasn't even going for the ball.
Watch it from the reverse angle.
Now, I don't see him putting his hands up in the guy's face.
And he's got his hands in there on the jersey. Watson made a really good move. Had Hicks thought that ball was coming, he could have turned around and intercepted it. Watson had him fooled all the way. Denver on the move. First and 10. Ow. Vance Johnson tries to one-hand it, and he pays for it.
Well, Juice, you can bet they're not going to punt now.
I'm a little surprised they're throwing the ball now. Now that they're in field goal range, I think I'd be running the ball, trying to force the 49ers to use up some of their timeouts. And, hey, I'm in field goal range. I can go ahead with a field goal.
Yeah, but it's a 47-yard kick at this point.
Carlos's field goal range.
Yeah.
I can assure you that. His career best is 50 yards.
Well, 3 runs, and they, hey.
You're right.
Clock stop at 2:21.
But they'd still really rather get the first down, right? 2:21, you know, if they don't get the first down, they're going to give plenty of time for San Francisco to come back and score 2. So that's really what they're thinking. They want to get 7.
Elway calls timeout. So the Broncos are down to 2. Broncos want no mistakes down here. They are in good shape. They have a second down and 10. They're at the 31-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. On the sideline, there is a very nervous Rich Carlos. If they have to go from here, it will be about a 47-yard attempt.
They got to run it.
They could give him 4 or 5 yards. It would certainly be much easier. Don't take the loss. Ronnie Lott. Watson to the 10-yard line. Ronnie Lott had his hands on John Elway. What a strong arm to get that ball to Steve Watson.
All arm.
Well, running backwards, not even laterally. Elway was moving away from the line of scrimmage.
The 2-minute warning here at a delirious Mile High Stadium in Denver. The 49ers have a first down goal to go, or the Broncos do. This is what you have to love about this youngster. Ronnie Lott is right there, almost has his arms on him. Elway strong arms it to Watson, who is man for man because of the blitz. On the coverage was Torrey Nixon. And the Broncos, third down and 10. They get a first down goal to go inside the 10 of the 49ers. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 49ers leading 16-14. Wilhite. There's a collision at the 11, and Wilhite, helmet off, sprawls back to the line of scrimmage. And that's all. Ricky Ellison there first.
Oh, I'm surprised the 49ers are not calling timeout. Here we go.
There it is. The 49ers stopping that clock. That play using 15 seconds.
Timeout.
And now the 49ers are down to 2 timeouts. Listless throughout much of the first half. They roared out in the third quarter. They took the lead in the fourth quarter for the first time. They have the lead by 2, 16-14, with 1:45 remaining in the game. Both the Broncos and the 49ers have 2 timeouts.
Well, the 49ers may be thinking about that field goal they didn't go for on 4th down earlier in the game. Bad snap. Well, that may have been a snowball.
And a snowball attack on the holder. Kavanaugh. 2nd and 10. Wilhite. 49ers will use quickly another timeout. Stops the clock at 1:38. And one would have to suspect that we will see John Elway, after the conference with Dan Reeves, come back out and do much the same thing. Although Wilhite is slow getting up now.
Hey, Joe, have you ever seen a quarterback like this? Going into the game, we knew the 49ers felt they had to keep him in the pocket. They didn't want him to roll out. I'll tell you one other thing about John Elway. Like most he-men that I know, he, Joe Montana, Joe Namath, and yours truly, all in the last 2 months had little girls.
Hey, all right. John Elway and his wife Janet had a little Jessica, as a matter of fact. That was back in October. Montana and his wife Jennifer, they had a little Alexandria.
Only the real men.
You guys are all snapping off girls.
Well, the real men, I think.
There you go. The 3rd down, goal to go. Ball near the 5-yard line. That's the time remaining. 49ers have 1 timeout. Elway, this is Wilhite. And the 49ers quickly use that timeout, stop the clock with 1:31. And we'll see the field goal unit for San Francisco. And even should they make the field goal, which they should, the 49ers will have 1:31 remaining in the game, but no timeouts. And who better to have at the controls than Joe Montana?
Well, we could have Joe Namath out.
Well, we don't have a cinched field goal here yet either. We've seen some muffed snaps and muffed handling of the ball tonight. We saw a bad snap on the punt. So this game is, this field goal is certainly not a cinch.
Not a good night for an open-footed kicker either. It's a little frosty around here.
Well, it's going to be interesting because the 49ers, as I mentioned earlier, they're a team that in the past, the attitude of the whole team, the organization was, if we got the ball last with a chance to win, we will win. This year, that has not been the story. They've had drop passes, penalties. They've made mistakes under those circumstances.
And looking ahead, too, Carlos hasn't been kicking the ball off. If he makes this field goal and has to kick off, he hasn't been kicking it deep. So San Francisco, on the kickoff return, should have good field position to go to work.
So here's Carlos. He's had time to think about it. He missed tonight from 48 yards out. This is considerably closer. It'll be a 25-yard attempt. Gary Kubiak is the holder. Keith Bishop is the snapper on the field goal unit.
I don't expect we'll see any snowballs.
Broncos retake the lead.
Good as gold.
Leaving nearly a minute and a half for the 49ers. What a strange life a kicker leads. Everyone loves him when he makes one. You miss one, hard to find a friend. And for Montana, 1:27 officially on the clock. He has no timeout. Carlos has not kicked off well tonight on his kickoff. San Francisco is average getting the ball out to the 33-yard line. That would be indeed a help at this point. Carl Monroe, number 32, Derek Harmon are deep. It's a great crowd. It really is. Leave out 2 or 3 yo-yos with the snowballs. And they're great fans here in Denver. So expectant about Major League Baseball coming in the near future. So much has been talked about in the league meetings about Denver getting Major League Baseball. You have to believe it would be sensational here. Carlos. A beautiful kick by Carlos. And Monroe thought about it, but that ball was too high. There could be no wedge formed, so Monroe probably made the right decision. Carlos, meanwhile, got hit. He was over on the left side, and the Denver Bronco players out of the field complaining bitterly. I did not see what happened. But Carlos, twice now, has been flattened on various plays.
Well, that was certainly a clutch kickoff. The man had to get a ball in the end zone. This was the time for him to do it.
Once earlier tonight, it was Carlos who saved perhaps a long 49er return at midfield when he tackled Carl Monroe. And they continue to look at Rich Carlos. He says, hey, man, I'm a kicker.
Well, he better start wearing more pads if he's going to get this active out in the football field. Some hip pads and rib pads, maybe even a shoe on his right foot.
I mentioned we'll be watching the 49ers twice more in the next 3 weeks. They're at home at Candlestick Park next Sunday against Kansas City, followed by Seattle here on Monday Night Football, November the 25th. Then it's Washington on the road, and then December the 9th, we'll bring you the 49er Ram game from San Francisco.
Well, the 49ers obviously would like to get the ball to their outside guys so they can get out of bounds, but I have a feeling, Joe, if they're going to move the ball down the field, they're going to find Russ Francis or someone who's lining up in that tight end position.
And we mentioned earlier, who better to have back there at quarterback than Joe Montana. Maybe Dan Fouts. Fouts is one of the best in the game as well.
First and 10. Draw play. Roger Craig. The play has been called. Of course, the next play, there will be no huddle. Mecklenburg, by the way, made that stop. What a game he's played tonight. Final seconds ticking down. Montana. Incomplete to Carl Monroe. It stops the clock at 1:04. Or rather, Derek Harmon.
Very typical of what's been happening to the 49ers on final drives this year.
Third down and 5, which is almost meaningless at this point.
You want to bet they don't punt, Joe?
I don't think they'll punt. I'm really surprised that Russ Francis has only caught 1 pass tonight.
Harmon again, and down goes Harmon. Ken Woodard defensively was there, and we perhaps are down to the last 49er down. There's a loss on the play at 3. It'll be 4th down and 8. And the clock continues to tick.
And they better hurry up or they may not get that 4th down play off.
Bernie Shavers wouldn't give him the ball.
Open field tackle. And a good one it was. Randy Robbins, who missed much of the season with a broken arm. He makes the tackle on Roger Craig. Denver gets the ball back. They'll have the victory. They will take over sole possession at first place in the AFC Western Division. 1 game ahead of the Raiders. 1 game ahead of Seattle. 2 games ahead of San Diego. The Chargers will be coming in here next Sunday. Hard-hitting game. We hope you were with us throughout the contest. It was a beauty. Denver defeats